Hello, investigators and studiers of the arcane. I am the archivist, and welcome back to the archives, where we will be studying once again the Innsmouth Trial and the gory means by which the people of that bleak Massachusetts town deliver their twisted interpretation of justice. I'm joined again by three investigators. Let's meet them now. Hello, investigators. How are we all doing this evening?
Not too bad.
Good, good. Would you all care to introduce yourself from left to right and the investigators you'll be portraying tonight?
Sure. I'm Andreas, or in this game, Damonos, and I'll be portraying Minty Farn, the secretary, and Tommy Muldoon, the rookie cop.
Marvelous. Max Flyer.
Yeah, I'm Chris. I'm here in Colorado. This is my first shot with this, so I don't have too much familiarity with it, but I'm playing Amanda Sharp. Any pointers and tips as we go along are very welcome.
Wonderful. And
Hi, it's my name's Peter. I'm Pastor Monkey. I'm playing two characters tonight. The first one is Rita Young, the athlete, and her special ability is she can move an additional space when she moves. And then I'm playing Finn Edwards, who may move one space before or after doing a search. So, yeah,
wonderful.
that's me.
Now, as you may have gathered, today we'll be enacting the Innsmouth Trial. As I said earlier, the tale of what became of those who fail the escape from Innsmouth scenario, which you may or may not be familiar with. All you need to know, though, is that you were lynched by the merciless residents of Innsmouth, despite your attempts to escape alongside FBI agent Craven. Let's see how things worked out. Mere hours ago, the Innsmouth mob pursued you relentlessly through the streets of the bleak, ghoulish Massachusetts town. They burned their own docks without a second thought when they discovered your attempt to flee by boat, and upon finding you, the deranged, glass-eyed locals beat you within an inch of your life and dragged you to the heart of the town. Up ahead, you see a grim, mausoleum-like building with a brass plaque identifying it as the Innsmouth Courthouse. The locals drag you inside through the damp, rotting halls and towards a cell block. Place the dungeon hall as indicated. Before any of you are shoved into the cells, one of the locals leading the mob announces, "Put 3 of them away. We'll put the other 2 on trial for now. Don't want it to be over too quickly." He grins, bearing a row of shark-like teeth. I'll put this down incorrectly. There we are. It sounds as though this trial will be far from conventional. The 2 investigators who feel most confident enduring it could easily nominate themselves by making a show of resisting their captors. The others are thrown in the cells, the doors for which lock behind them with a foreboding thud. Place 1 investigator in each cell and an explore token on the door. Investigators, please nominate 3 investigators to remain in the cells while the other 2 are put on trial.
Mm-hmm.
I think. I mean, Finn. I think probably could maybe do the trial. I'd probably put Rita in one of the cells. So.
Very well, that's 1 nomination to be put on trial.
I think Tommy might be good for the trial. I think he's all right with that.
Very well. Tommy and Finn will be put on trial while the other investigators are confined to their prisons. The 2 investigators who are being put on trial are dragged through the building, not to a courtroom, but to a large, partially flooded courtyard in the centre of the building, into which they are shoved before the door is locked behind them. We are placing the marshland. The scarecrow. And the old well. Now let's see. The old well is parallel to the courtyard, the cell block even. The marshland is placed thusly. And the scarecrow is here. Place the investigators to be put on trial here. Investigators on trial cannot become lost in time and space as a result of horror or damage, nor can investigators lost in time and space emerge in the courtyard. You are well and truly sealed off. Standing atop the rooftops around the building around you is the Innsmouth mob, cheering for your brutal death. Nearby, a scarecrow hangs limply on a rotten wooden frame. You can't tell if the face carved into its rancid pumpkin head is fearful or threatening. After spending the entire night running for your life, the stony wall of the well seems like the most comfortable surface you can imagine. Investigators, it is your turn. Investigators.
Okay. Who should go first?
Should we try and escape the cells?
Yeah, I think we can go. Maybe help those guys out.
Very well. Who would attempt to break free of their cell?
I can
Anyone
try.
at all? Max Flyer, are you nominating yourself?
Yeah, I can try.
Well, wonderful. The lock is sturdy but not very intricate. It should not be difficult to pick. We are picking the lock as an action. Luckily, the mob didn't take your possessions. You use your lockpick to carefully manipulate the tumblers. Max Flyer, please make an observation roll.
Okay, talk me through it, guys.
Pardon,
So-
Amanda Sharp. Yes,
Here?
your observation is 4. Please roll 4 dice.
So
You may
you
roll
click
more
4
than one
times
at
and
a
then it should
time.
have 4 dice. Yeah, if you just click 4.
Follow 2 more times, please. You don't need to wait for each individual dice. Wonderful, 3. For future reference, you may click the dice repeatedly to roll more than one at a time. And
Okay,
I
perfect,
encourage
thank
to
you.
do so.
And if you're not sure, if you Alt and the left mouse, it'll show you. Or just if you press Alt over your thing, it shows you your scores on the right hand side.
Wonderful. With a roll of 3, with a click, the lock comes undone. Remove this explore token. The explorer in the cell may move 1 space into the hall. The door to your right leads to the front of the courthouse from which you were dragged. Another door leads to the rear of the building. In a small barred window overlooks the courtyard. Through it, the other investigators can be seen looking back anxiously. This wall does not impede range, which means it can be fired through with a ranged weapon, and monsters may affect you during the horror phase if you're not careful. I beg your pardon, Amanda Sharp, you have 1 action remaining.
Should I just take a look at this window here? Or...
Yes, the barred window adjoins the courtyard to the prison cells, and investigating in the dungeon hall is within range of the courtyard. There is no action to undertake.
Can I try to unlock another cell?
You may. Very well. Minty Pan, the lock is sturdy but not very intricate. Once again, please make an observation roll.
4, correct?
Please summon 4 dice. There you are. There's a 2 unless you choose to spend a clue token. We'll take your silence as a no.
Should I spend one? Can you
Hmm.
guys get out of there?
It might be worth holding on to the. I don't know. It's worth holding on to the clues for a bit. Yeah, I'll just leave it at 2.
Yeah, maybe it's
Well,
enough.
2. With a click, the lock comes undone. Remove this explore token, investigate it in the cell, may move 1 space into the hall. And that is the end of Amanda Sharp's turn. Who would like to go next, please?
Min, do you want to go next because you've escaped?
Yeah,
Have a look in the doors. Or...
my observation. 4 as well. Yeah, I can try to unpick your.
Woohoo!
Well, Minty
Your
Pan
door.
is attempting to free Rita Young.
Here we go.
Well then. And lo and behold, the 3rd lock is undone. Rita Young, you may emerge from the cell. Your second action, please, Ms. Pan.
So the lower way is the way towards the other guys, right?
This leads to the front of the courthouse. This leads to the rear. This is all the information you have.
I might explore the rear.
Very well.
Just have a look there.
The long corridor runs around the corner of the building. Place the Hall 1 and Hallway 5 tiles. Yeah. I beg your pardon, there is also a wall here and here. You've not found your colleague's salvation just yet. A chair in the corner of the hall could provide shelter if an investigator needs to hide from the locals. Based on the faint sound of snarling coming from beneath the floorboards, you can tell you're above the underground chambers in which the locals keep their monsters. There's another door at the end of the hallway. You may move 1 space into the explored area. Excellent, and that is the end of Minty Pan's turn. Who would like to go next, please?
Should we do Rita next and then move it to the outside? So can I explore down, please?
You certainly may. A door leads towards the front of the courthouse. A plain hallway connects the dungeon to the lobby. Place the hall corner tile, of which there is unfortunately a few. There we are. And of course, remove the explore token. A handful of trinkets have been abandoned on an end table in the hall. A large armchair and end table are collectively large enough to hide behind. A single investigator may hide here during the mythos phase. This door is ajar, and a musky smell of old books wafts from the other side. This is the door from which you were dragged to the cells. You may move 1 space into the explored area. Wonderful. Your second action, please.
Could I... Is hiding an action?
No, an investigator on an interact token is hidden.
Okay, so you don't have to spend an action time. Can I search? I might as well. Can I search, please?
You may. An assortment of items have been discarded on this end table. There's a slim chance of finding something useful we are searching as a second action. You find a half-full cigarette case. You hope it does more for your luck than it would for your health. Gain the lucky cigarette case common item.
Yay!
There you are. And of course, remove this
Nice.
search token. Now, investigators in the courtyard.
Does Tommy want to go next?
Yeah, why not? I think I moved to the Scarecrow and church there.
Very well, Mr. Muldoon, moving towards the Scarecrow. The mangled and rotting Scarecrow has been impaled by something sharp. It's either a threat or a result of some mindless savagery. We are investigating as an action. You pull the blade from the Scarecrow's chest, gain the hedge shears common item.
Nice.
And there you are. Hopefully it will harm your enemies more than it did the straw dummy. Mr. Muldoon, you have 1 movement space remaining should you wish to use it.
Yeah, I think I moved into here.
Very well, and that leads us to Mr. Edwards. What say you?
I'll just move there. And can I interact with the well? What does that do?
Once per turn, an investigator may spend an action to rest on the side of the well and either discard 1 horror, discard 1 damage, or become focused.
Ooh, good. So can I use my second action to become focused then,
You
please?
certainly may. There you are. And with that, we have reached our first mythos phase. It feels like you've been awake and fighting for your life for days. Your stress is matched only by your fear, no immediate effect. In the unexplored halls of the courthouse, you hear the ominous thud of patrolling footsteps. Of the rabid mob surrounding the courtyard from the rooftops, one is clearly in a position of authority. An enormous man holds everyone's attention. He wears a long trench coat and a crown fashioned from twisted bones, like a deranged interpretation of a judge's uniform. You assume his role is similarly morbid. You stand accused of trespassing upon Innsmouth and disgracing the gods, the judge bellows, his voice effortlessly piercing the roar of the mob. The fates, as governed by Lord Cthulhu, hold you at their mercy. Your innocence will be determined by your survival. Opposite the courtyard, 2 sets of stairs lead down to a dank, sinister dungeon. One of the doors swings open and a withered, skeletal monstrosity is shoved out by 2 locals. Place a skeleton as indicated. A second skeleton is forced out of the other door. This one we will mark in red. The unmarked skeleton moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. Mr. Muldoon, bones jutting into the air with each jerky movement. The skeleton grabs for your arms. An agility roll, please, Tommy. 2 is a success.
4 do I have?
Wonderful. You snatch your hands back from the advancing foe. And the red skeleton also moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. And I'm afraid it too attacks Tommy Muldoon. When you turn around, the skeleton is right behind you and reaching for your face. A second agility roll, please. This time 3 will be required. Excellent.
Nice.
You instinctively
Hey,
backhand the
great
creature
work.
across the jaw, rattling its rotten teeth in their sockets. The skeleton suffers 1 damage. And
Yeah, I
now
got
a
ya.
horror check. So Finn Edwards, Tommy Muldoon, and I'm afraid Amanda Sharp must all resolve the following. The shadow that the skeleton casts is disjointed, dancing in devilish confusion against the ground. A will roll, please. 1 is a success. Amanda Sharp has a will of 4. Max Flyer, please roll 4 dice. See, the others have both passed. Excellent. So a
Yay.
steadying breath brings everyone back to their center, and they are unaffected. Which
Nice.
brings us on to our second investigator phase.
Tommy, do you want to go first and shoot them?
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
A reminder, the red skeleton was the one previously injured, should you wish to pile on damage.
Yeah, I go for that one.
Very well, attacking the red skeleton with a firearm, I presume.
Yes.
You squeeze the trigger, aiming for the creature's chest. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success. Am I? Do you remember that Becky enables
Might want to
one
use a
re-roll
clue to convert it, or
1 dice?
do you have a card that...
I can also re-roll 1 die with Becky.
You may also roll
Oh,
an additional
no.
dice with the survival pack.
Or do we think it's better?
You don't really have options.
I would probably just re-roll 1 die, and then you can always use a clue.
Very well.
Okay.
1 dice. Die even. That is a
So,
success
yeah,
and
I'd probably
2
use a clue.
clues.
Yeah, use a clue then.
So it gives you 2 successes.
Yeah.
Very well. Spending a clue. You pass. A bullet leaves a crater in the creature's sternum the size of your fist. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage, which is 4. And the skeleton expires.
Yeah.
Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I'll
I
probably
would
use the survival pack this time.
Very well.
Yeah.
Reminder, you may still use Becky if you wish. You just cannot re-roll any more dice.
Yeah, I'll shoot him with Becky.
Very well. Using Becky again. Though the creature is not of flesh and blood, you are certain that enough lead will still halt its advance. An agility roll, please. The monster will suffer damage equal to your result.
Do I have to activate the survival effect before or after?
You may use it after the roll.
Ah, good. Then I just try for now.
You might as well use it because you haven't got another action.
Yeah.
It will not reactivate until after the Mythos phase. You may still use it then.
Oh, sorry, Mythos phase. Yeah, in that case, save it.
Yeah, we'll use it then. Have an additional die.
You're using it now.
Nah.
Oh, I'm afraid that is a mere 2. Next investigator, please.
I don't actually have any weapons on Finn, so I'm thinking when I get into the same space as Tommy, it might be worth us swapping. If I could take the shears off you, if that's okay.
You will need to evade
Sure.
the skeleton if you plan to do that.
I'm going to move, and then I'm going to hit him with my fist.
Very well, an unarmed attack against the skeletal foe.
Yes, it's stupid. I
You
know,
are
but-
overtaken by rage that this horrifying creature exists in an otherwise ordered universe, and you put all your fury behind your fists. A strength roll, please, Mr. Edwards. 2 is a success.
I will use a clue to have a success, please.
Very well. Being told people are having difficulty hearing me. Are you all able to hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll just have to speak up then. You pass. Your blows force the creature to stagger back. The monster suffers 2 damage and dies.
Ooh, good punch there.
The rage.
Next investigator, please.
You want to go for it, Max?
Yes, I guess I'm just gonna move to.
Turn myself up rather. Is everyone able to hear me comfortably still?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And then I think interact.
As before, the minor furnishings in the corner of the hall could conceal one investigator. There is no action to perform.
Okay, well, Can I move twice as my second action?
You may take another
Yeah.
movement action, yes. Very well. Next investigator, please.
Should I go and investigate what's in here?
Yes, that's good.
Just turn myself all the way up. Do let me know if I'm too loud now. I beg your pardon. Investigating the lobby. This door leads to the lobby and, so far as you know, the only way out of the courthouse. The large lobby was packed with angry locals when you were dragged through, but now they've all moved to the roof to watch the trial, replacing the lobby tile. I beg your pardon, once again, that is the wrong way around, of course. An oil painting on the wall depicts a gruesome scene. If a local traversed this room quickly enough, they might not notice someone hiding under this table. The doors at the top of the stairs wind upwards to the building's rooftops. A wooden plaque above the door reads "Library." And this door leads further around the building. You may move one space into the explored area.
Should I search or keep on going round?
Maybe go further around so we
I-
find like
yeah.
different.
I think I'd get stopped. I'd stop there anyway, wouldn't I? Because I've only got I might just quick
I'm having trouble hearing you there, Pastor Monkey.
search.
You are searching the painting, yes?
Oh, sorry. Can I? Yes, please speak up.
Very well. The bloody violence depicted in the painting makes you wonder what kind of person could have painted it. The person in the painting is fighting for their life in the courtyard. There is no plaque to offer more detail on the specific trial depicted. You suspect killing outsiders isn't noteworthy enough for the people of Innsmouth to commemorate one specific instance. Suffer one face-down horror, gain 2 clues, and remove this search token.
Joy.
Fun.
Yeah.
Ghoulish town, I'm afraid. And next investigator, please. I believe that only leaves Miss Pan.
Yeah. I think I will move here and do the search.
Very well. The ominous snarling makes you nervous to traverse the corridor, but perhaps by listening closely, you could learn what's in store for your friends in the courtyard. It's impossible to tell how many beasts lurk in the chambers beneath you, or even how many different kinds, but you're sure your colleagues will die before they can slay them all. Suffer one horror, will negates. Ms. Pan has a will of 3.
Okay.
Oh my. I'm afraid you will suffer one face-up horror. Unless you
Nice.
wish to use your ability.
Yeah, I think it's the last thing anyway. So I
Very well.
re-roll 1 die.
Imbue you with this
on,
restraint
you can do
token
this.
to indicate your ability has been used.
Yes.
Nice.
Excellent.
Ah, great work.
You suffer no horror. You do, however, gain 1 clue and remove this search token.
Nice.
And with that, we have reached our second mythos phase. The investigator in an indoor space with the lowest observation feels overwhelmed by fear. Let's see, who is outside? Mr. Edwards and Mr. Muldoon. So the lowest observation would be Ms. Young.
Did you say insight? Oh yeah, Young. So what was the test on?
Yes,
Observation.
Young suffers 1 face down horror. Will negates. Ooh.
Yeah.
By the
Yep,
will
one
of the
success.
uneven table, you have succeeded.
Hey.
You hear a sound you're far too familiar with by now. A wheezing, gurgling breathing. One of the locals is patrolling the halls lest you escape. Around their neck they wear a whistle. You've no hope of fighting them, for if they see you, the entire mob could be upon you in seconds. If an investigator is ever within range of the guard, select the guard's icon in the app. Place a Deep 1 hybrid as indicated, and I'm sorry to say that one of you is already within range, so I will alert the app accordingly. The local seizes you and drags you back to the cells, taking the shortest route, which is to say it moves here, taking Rita Young with him. Move the Deep 1 hybrid as indicated. Move all captured investigators into open cells. Each captured investigator suffers 2 damage. Strength negates. Wonderful.
Will do.
Although the door is locked behind
Yep.
you, it won't slow you down much now that you've studied the lock. So for game purposes, you can assume it is simply not locked. And stay in there! The guard roars, spraying you with putrid saliva. The guard dutifully continues their patrol. Move the Deep 1 hybrid as indicated. And no investigators are discovered. The crowd shouts abuse at you, unhappy with how you survived this first challenge. The judge bellows over the crowd. Lord Cthulhu desires your deaths be slow. Take them back to the cells and bring out the others. From the dungeon beneath the courthouse, a local approaches to carry out the judge's orders. Since the locals don't wish you to die by their own hand, you're certain you could refuse to leave, and indeed must, if your colleagues have escaped the cell and their deception is to go unnoticed. If there are investigators in the cell to exchange with, an equal number of investigators in the courtyard may do so. An investigator in the dungeon hall may also move into a cell now. So either investigator may, at this point, exchange themselves with Rita Young.
I think I'm good.
I think as Rita's got the movement, I'll probably just keep her in the cells if that's okay.
Yeah, I think that's all right.
Very well. To your surprise, the next foes the mob has for you to face are other outsiders. Their faces are ungroomed, their eyes bloodshot, and their clothes are shabby and damp. You don't know how long they've been here or what the locals did to them, but you almost feel lucky having been sentenced to death instead. Place a cultist as indicated. And a hired gun. As indicated. The cultist moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks the investigator in its space with the most items.
That would be
afraid-
Tommy, I'm afraid. Sorry, Tommy.
Indeed, Officer Muldoon. The cultist swings a staff trying to dislodge one of your items. An agility roll, please, Mr. Muldoon. 1 is required.
What check is that?
Agility.
Agility, so you should have full roll.
Yeah, okay. Come on. Yeah, that
Wonderful. You pass.
Yay!
You twist your body just in time. Suffer 1 face down damage, but keep hold of your precious items. The hired gun moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Oh my. And it attacks whomever has suffered the least damage.
Which is me.
You, yes, Mr. Edwards. The hired gun comes at you fast, fists raised like a pugilist. You try desperately to deflect the blows that rain down upon you. Suffer 3 damage. Strength +1 negates.
Right.
+1. You may roll an additional dice.
It's okay. I think you said 1 success, so.
No, I said negate 3 damage.
Oh, okay. I'll roll an extra dice then.
I
Sorry.
would certainly recommend rolling that 4th dice.
I thought you said strength. That was only 3. So.
Well, then that is 1 face-up damage unless you spend your focused card.
I'll spend my focus if that's okay.
Very well. And now a horror check for Tommy and Finn against the hired gun. You're so distracted by your foe's bravado that you overlook broken glass on the ground. Suffer 1 face-down damage and 1 face-down horror. Will +1 negates.
I got 1 success. So do I take the horror or
1 face-down damage or 1 face-down horror?
I'll take face-down damage.
Very well, Mr. Muldoon, please roll 4 dice. And
Nice.
both have been
You're
defeated.
fine.
Congratulations. Investigators, it is your turn once more.
Could I ask a quick question?
You may.
For Rita, you know the guard that's wandering around. If he's got has he got his back to her? So could she go down and explore the library room?
Any investigator who is ever within range of the patrolling local will catch their attention, provided they are not hiding. I should also tell you that a hiding investigator may attempt to leave a space if the deep one is within the room. But for now, yes, the library is quite off limits.
Okay. Yeah, I might leave Rita till last then. If
For outside, should I give you the head shears?
Do you remember that an evade check must be passed to take any action other than attacking?
Yeah, it might be worth just attack. If you attack first, we can, because I can use my action to try and
get it.
Yeah.
Great. Good. Then I think I would shoot the cultist.
Very well. Attacking the cultist with a ranged weapon. You empty your weapon at the figure's center of mass. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success. Oh dear.
I re-roll 1 with Becky.
Very well. Oh my. 1 success and 3 investigations.
I can have an additional die with the backpack as well.
You may. Oh, 4 investigations. Quite useless in your current position, I'm afraid. Which is to say you fail and the target twists aside at the last moment. Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I will shoot him again.
Very well. The gun
You can't
roars
have
and
it.
shakes in your hands. Once again, an agility roll, and once again, 2 is a success.
Oh, come on. Here we go.
Much
Yes.
better. Your shot strikes the target. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage and dies. Next investigator, please.
Should I try and hit it first, do you think, to see if I can kill it and then get the shears, or is it worth just getting the shears first?
It's important to note that an evade check is not impossible, as many often act as it is.
Yeah, maybe get the shears first then, to make sure.
Yeah, can I try and... So, what? Can I do an evade first to get the shears off?
You may.
Tommy?
You offer your foe compensation to let you by unscathed. An influence roll, please. 2 is a success.
Right.
Come on, please.
Yeah, here we go.
Wonderful. And
Take it.
you pass. You understand perfectly that the bottom line is all that matters. Which means, yes, you may take your alternate action. Is that all you wish to exchange? You may exchange as many items as you wish.
No, yeah, just that, and then can I attack with the head shears, please?
You
Which is a bladed
certainly
weapon.
may. Attacking the hired gun with a bladed weapon. You try to sweep your enemy's arms aside while stabbing with your other hand. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success.
Ooh, I've only got 3.
Oh,
no.
my. Not quite.
That's
Your
rough.
foe snaps its arms back, throwing you off balance, and you're thrust off its mark. And I believe that is it for the courtyard investigators. You return to the courthouse.
So is that me?
Yeah, if you want.
3 players have
Okay.
an investigator.
Okay, I'm gonna explore.
Very well. This door leads deeper into the courthouse. You enter a large storage room, containers and shelves piled around you, far too many to search before your friends die. Place the general shop. Several brightly coloured formulas in jars can be found upon a shelf. The vast majority of produce stored in the back room is rotten. Barely a handful of edible food can be found. If an investigator was desperate for nourishment, they might choose to treat themselves to some only slightly mouldy vegetables. A man stands behind the counter, examining a wall safe and muttering frantically to himself. Place a person token. Despite his clear anxiety and discomfort, you assume he is a local because of his raincoat and fisherman's hat. The counter is large enough that 2 investigators could hide behind it to escape detection, but of course only once the man at the safe has been distracted. This door leads to the side of the courthouse opposite the cells. You may move 1 space into the explored area.
Okay.
Your second action, please, Ms. Pan.
I think I'm gonna search.
Very well. Many of the liquids have an unnatural glow. If you intend to drink anything, you would best choose something you can confidently identify. You select a bottle of something you believe will be useful. Gain the medical stimulant.
Nice.
I beg your pardon, the mental stimulant, which can be drunk to improve your lore. And of course, remove this search token. Ms. Pan and Ms. Young, you have yet to take your actions.
Can move to, can't I? Yeah. I think I can move down here.
Yeah.
Very well.
That's all my actions.
And Ms. Young.
I'm just going to move. Oh, why is it? Sorry. I'm just going to move here because if I go down 1, they'll spot me. So I'm just going to basically. Is there anything else I can do?
Very well. Simply moving there, you will have to face a horror check provided the hired gun. Well, of course it will. It's the Mythos turn next.
Oh, it's fine.
Very well. In that case, Mythos phase.
Oh, sorry, could I shoot?
Shoot.
If I can see them.
You certainly could have done, but I'm afraid I have
Oh,
initiated
sorry.
the Mythos phase.
That's my fault. Apologies.
A bolt of lightning ignites the sky above the courthouse. All investigators become dazed. There you go. The guard dutifully continues their patrol, returning to the lobby. The hired gun moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks whomever has the lowest strength, which unfortunately is Mr. Edwards. Your assailant drives an elbow into your stomach and follows with an uppercut to your chin. Suffer 2 face-up damage. Strength negates.
Oh,
Is well negated. And now a horror check. Beneath the common features of your foe, you briefly glimpse an insatiable demon of greed. Suffer 2 face-up horror. Will +1 negates. My.
Oh, so Rita's failed.
You may negate 1 with your cigarette case, of course.
I probably will do, actually.
Very well.
Finn's okay. So 1 face up, did you say?
Yes, that would be 1 face-up horror with your cigarette case.
So just
And I see Mr. Muldoon also has but 1 success.
face up.
Perhaps Becky
Oh,
could resolve this issue.
Result. Can
One
I
moment.
have a focus card, please?
Excellent. You certainly may. Before you flip that over, Mr. Muldoon, remember you do still have Becky.
Even if I used it for the fight.
I'm sorry, did you use it for the fight?
Yeah.
Well, in that case, yes, that is your horror. And I'm
Fun.
afraid you have suffered 1 additional face-down damage. Let me just focus the card.
Oof.
How very unfortunate. Yes, they were. Which brings us back to the investigator phase.
I guess I would shoot the guy.
Very well. A firearm attack versus the hired gun. You brace yourself in a proper shooter stance. Aim and fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Come on. Great.
Am I not quite a success,
I do.
I'm afraid. You take
Reroll
too
1.
long. I beg your pardon. Which item was that?
That was Becky.
Yeah.
I shoot him with a second action because I
beg
don't
your
even have
pardon.
1 success.
You fail. You take too long aiming, and your foe jumps aside. Now a second attack.
Yeah.
Your hands shake as adrenaline pumps through your veins. Withhold your dice, please. I've not yet told you what to roll.
Oh, sorry.
You open fire despite the difficulty. An agility roll, as you correctly deduced, I will allow you to roll again. 2 is a success.
Okay.
Yay!
There we go.
You pass.
Great.
Your marksmanship overcomes your uncooperative limbs. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage and dies. Next,
Nice.
investigator, please.
I'll have Finn go next if that's okay. So 1, 2, and then if I interact with the well, can I get rid of?
You may either discard your damage or become focused.
I'll discard my damage.
Very well. And Tommy Muldoon and Mr. Edwards are no longer dazed. Next, investigator, please. Ms. Pan, Ms. Sharp, and Ms. Young, who would like to go next?
Is it worth
can go.
commanding up first in case the person turns out to be bonkers and Min can help. Or
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm going to interact here with the keeper, shopkeeper.
The local holds a sheet of paper to the wall next to the safe on which he occasionally makes notes. Come on, he hisses to no one in particular. I know what I heard. Your options are to either say hello, or, given that you have no weapons, you may attack unarmed.
Huh. Okay. um,
Hmm.
I'm not much of a fighter here. I don't have any weapons either, so.
yeah, go the peaceful route there.
Yeah, I could go and say hello.
Very well, diplomacy
I'm
is
just.
always a tactical decision in Innsmouth. The man spins around and reaches for a weapon, but freezes when he realizes who you are, and gives a massive sigh of relief. Oh, it's you. Thank God I'm not too late. The man lifts his head, and you see under the rim of his fisherman's hat and realize he isn't a local at all. Remove this person token and place Agent Craven. I've been undercover amongst the mob since they fell on us at the pier, Craven explains. I've been looking around this place for a way to get us all out of here. I wish you'd stayed in the cells, but since you're here, you may as well help. The locals are holding some bizarre alien creature captive. They use it to finish off anyone who survives the trial. I believe our best hope of escaping with all your colleagues is to discover how the locals control this creature and using it to our advantage. Freeing the creature will be the easy part, Craven continues. It's kept in a vault in the southeastern hall of the courthouse, just to say, in this general area. The key is held by a monolithic person who I last saw slumbering in the library. The challenge will be controlling the creature once it's free. Based on what I've heard, I believe the creature is controlled by the use of tools kept in this safe, secured by a 4-digit combination, the only clue to which I will write here for your reference. The only clue to which is remember the trial of the 12th of January. I beg your pardon, the 15th of January. It's something I overheard the judge say when he suggested the creature might be necessary. I've tried the American and British variations of the date, and neither is the combination. To complicate matters further, the Innsmouth Gazette says there was no trial on that date. He gestures to a nearby pile of newspapers. I suspect it was a coded phrase. Craven sighs anxiously, seeming frustrated by how the puzzle has vexed him. I'll have to leave this with you. I briefly made contact with headquarters earlier, and a getaway vehicle is en route. But I should coordinate their arrival and ensure they don't get here too early. One more thing, Craven says as he makes to leave. Get this to your friends in the arena. If things are getting out of hand and they need backup, get them to signal me, but only as a last resort. If the locals find out there's another outsider sneaking around, they'll panic and end the trial and kill us all. In the riot whistle common item. And remove this person token.
Okay.
An investigator in the courtyard holding the riot whistle may signal for Craven's help, although the Innsmouth mob will descend upon them moments later. With Craven gone, the desk and the safe behind it are accessible. Search token here now. Your second... I beg your pardon, you have one movement space remaining, Miss Sharp.
Can I search?
You may not. No, you have one movement space, the remaining half of your move action, should you wish to use it.
Okay. No, I'm going to stay where I am.
Very well. Ms. Pan and Ms. Young.
Was there anything like on the picture in the lobby you saw? What was about the 15th?
I believe,
if you remember.
No, there was no plaque indicating a specific date.
Okay.
Oh dear, it seems we've lost Pastor Monkey.
Pastor Monkey's gone.
Oh no, sorry, I don't know why it's just logged me out. I'm just gonna have to log back in. I think.
Well, looking forward to it. In that case, shall we continue with Ms. Pan while we're waiting?
Yeah, sure. I think I do the search here.
Very well. A few vegetables are just about in edible condition. An injured investigator in need of nourishment could force themselves to endure a mouthful or two. Is Ms. Pan injured? You are not. You may
No.
choose to eat them anyway if you wish.
No. Can I take one with me?
No, your actions are eat vegetables or nothing.
Then nothing.
Very well. I assume instead you'd like to explore.
Yes, I would like to explore then.
Very well. The courtyard house winds around the other side of the courtyard. You enter a large, lavishly decorated, albeit damp and rotten lounge. There we are. This corner of the room catches your eye. You can feel dark energy seeping from the carpet and furniture, as if you sense some powerful aura left by some ominous visitor. A fire axe is mounted to a wall. Place the axe common item. The bar is ill-stocked, but more importantly, it's the only furniture in the room which could effectively hide someone from any angle. This is the door through which your friends were ushered into the courtyard. Through the barred window at the top, you can see your friends fighting for their life. Place a sight token. An investigator in this space is within range of the courtyard. You're close to returning to the front of the courthouse. Place a second explore token here, along with a door would probably be helpful in that regard. You may move one space into the explored area. Your second action, please, Ms. Pan.
Wasn't the search action the first?
You elected not to search, you may remember.
Ah, I see. I guess I can only move and not pick up the X at the same time, right?
Correct.
Or can I?
No, I don't think you can. I think that's an action to pick up, sadly.
That is
Okay.
correct, yes.
Then I will just move into the X space for the next turn.
Very well, and that leaves only Ms. Young.
I'm back, so I've had to sneak down and then open the door to the library, please.
Very well. This door leads to one of Innsmouth's smaller libraries, but surely still a source of dark and dangerous secrets. Compared to most of Innsmouth's libraries, this one has relatively few tomes on dark magic and ancient monstrosities. Most of the books relate to town history, genealogy, and past court cases. Place the library tile. Let's see, that one, not that one. There we are. There are countless records of previous trials. It would take far more time than you have to read them all. Down the shelves are a collection of ancient books which may be less relevant to your current predicament, but doubtless hold dark and powerful secrets. Many of Innsmouth's locals are monstrous semi-aquatic mutants, but the individual in the chair, mercifully asleep, is a veritable troll. Place a child of Dagon. Any investigator who concludes an action in the library, including ending a movement action, must pass an agility test of 2 to avoid waking the monster up. Just visible poking out of one of the creature's pockets is a gleaming brass key. An investigator on the Child of Dagon space may attempt to take it. Based on what Craven told you, you assume this beastly person holds the key to the vault. You may move one space into the explored area, but remember you will have to pass a agility test if you do.
Right, I think it's worth it because there's a lot in here, so I'm going to move in. So I think I've got a 4 agility. Is it 2 successes I need?
Correct.
No. Oh, hold on, 4. Right, make a 4. No, sorry. 2, 3, 4, please, please.
Oh my.
Oh, but I've got focused, I think.
Correct, yes.
I'm going to use my focused.
Very
'Cause
well.
I can't, yeah, 'cause I can't use clues because I'm dazed.
Correct, yes. I believe you're still dazed. That was this turn, wasn't it?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm going to use my focus to give me 3 successes.
Very well. You are no longer focused, and the beast slumbers on.
Yeah. Could I search the town records first, please?
You may not, I believe. I think you started here, didn't you?
Oh no, I did. Oh, that. Yeah, flip. Sorry, for some reason. Yeah, I thought. Oh, that's yeah. Okay, I'll end up
Indeed.
there. There we go.
Which means
Sorry, that's me
it is
done.
now the mythos phase again.
Can I lose my dazed?
You may, yes. The investigator in an indoor space with the lowest law jumps as the lights go out around them. Let's see, 4, 3, and 3, which means there's a tie between Ms. Pan and Miss Young. Both of you please draw from these 2 cards. Whoever draws the ace shall witness the lights extinguish. Well then, it seems Ms. Young, the lights go out. I'm sure the child of Dagon appreciates that, although it may make reading slightly more difficult. Rita Young looks around in alarm, hoping the phenomenon's proximity to them was a coincidence. The guard's patrol takes them deeper into the courthouse. Remove the Deep One hybrid. One of the screaming spectators, displeased by your continued survival, throws a bottle at you. Not only does it miss, but it still has some of its original contents inside. Place the whiskey common item thusly. Again, the locals approach the investigators on trial, intent on returning them to the cells. Unfortunately, there is no one to exchange with them, so they remain. The door to the subterranean dungeon creaks open again, and another outsider is ushered through, although this one is as foreign to you as they are to the people of Innsmouth. Place the child of the goat. The child of the goat moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. Your foe grabs at one of the items in your possession, attempting to wrest it from you. Mr. Muldoon, a strength test, please. 2 is a success.
I can reroll 1. Okay.
Am I?
No, but I have my survival pack and can roll another. Come on. Yeah, here we go.
Excellent. Which means the creature does not wrestle your items and you suffer no damage. Now a horror check. Your foe calls out to the stars, begging for your demise. An observation roll, please. 2 is a success. Oh dear. Seems 1 failure and 1 success. Mr. Edwards. You pass. You realise the words are hollow. Mr. Edwards may discard 1 horror, which he unfortunately does not have. Mr. Muldoon, the starlight seems to fade. Suffer 1 horror. Face up. Squeamish. After each attack action, you must flip 1 horror face up. How unfortunate for one in your position.
Indeed.
Investigator, it is your turn.
Should I try and attack it? And then if I don't kill it, at least if you kill it with one of your turns, you can maybe get the whiskey for the second turn.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Right, so I'm gonna, because I've got a blade, I'm gonna move and then attack, please.
Very well. Attacking the child of the goat with a bladed weapon. Your foe catches your stab, and you struggle to push the blade the final few inches, while the figure struggles to turn the blade on you. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success.
Finn is pretty rubbish.
Am I rubbish indeed? You fail. The creature twists your wrist and manages to jab you with your own weapon. Suffer 1 face down damage.
Sorry.
No worries.
Next investigator, please.
You could also evade him, right, to get the whiskey.
You may. However, I should let you know the whiskey only works on face down horror and will not make you less squeamish.
Yeah. Well, I attack then, I guess.
Very well. Attacking with what, please?
With Becky, sorry.
Very
We'll
well.
shoot him.
You swallow your fear and hold your weapon in steady hands. A will roll, please. 2 is a success.
A will one, okay. Nope.
Oh my. You wish to contest that with your numerous re-rolling abilities?
Well, I used them when he attacked me. What is that?
On his attack, that was the previous turn. They have reacted.
Ah, okay. Okay, then I do that. Thank God. No, number 1 and number 2 from the thing. Go on.
Oh my.
Nope.
Your hands are trembling too much to take a shot. Please flip your 1 face down horror. Oh dear.
1 damage. Yep.
It's going to be your fate each time you attack, unfortunately, until you suffer more horror.
Oh. The well lets me take 1 horror away, right?
Correct. That may be a face-up horror, so you may rest there to recover your doubts.
Yeah. Is it okay when I try to evade him and go there? What do you think, Monkey?
Yeah, I'd do that. Yeah, because I've got some capacity to take a few hits. So I think it's probably best getting rid of horrors at the moment.
Yeah, so I would try to evade him to run away.
Very well. Just 1 moment, please. Evading the child of the goat. Your foe harasses you with a series of quick blows. Suffer 2 face-up damage. Strength negates.
Okay.
Fingers crossed.
There's
Well
1 face-up damage.
Face up. Okay.
Oh dear. Your arm
Oh,
has
that's
been
okay.
broken. You cannot feel it at all. You think this might be a bad sign. An astute observation indeed. However, since you only have 2 items, it does not encumber you just yet.
Thank goodness for the well.
You may, however, continue with your action.
Okay, work here.
Very well. Investigators in the courthouse.
Can I go first, just in case I muck up and get sent back to the jail?
Very well.
So could I search the records this time?
You may. There are hundreds of records of past trials. Unless you know what you're looking for, it's unlikely you'll find anything useful. There are 8 records from January 1920, including the 15th.
Can I search the 15th, please?
You certainly may. According to Agent Craven, there had been no trial on this date. Perhaps if you read it carefully, you'll learn why this record exists. We had 7 outsiders to put on trial today. It took 5 deep ones and 6 zombies to put them down. It took 3 hours. We should have broken their legs first. It took way too long. You don't know if this information will help you escape, but if you do, it will certainly help you get justice for the diabolical townsfolk's previous victims. Gain the incriminating evidence, unique item.
Brilliant. And was that 7563? Sorry.
Yeah.
Can we? Yeah.
Very
We can just remember that.
well noted.
Do I have to make a check now? Because I finished my. I haven't.
1 moment, please. It seems unlikely you'll get any more use out of the records. Remove this search token. And yes, now please make an agility roll. And the chart
nice.
Lagon slumbers on.
I'll. Do I want to move or search? I'll.
What was the other book?
Mystical things, I think.
Probably my microphone. Sorry, you wanted to know what the other book was?
Yeah.
Let's see. Reading a book in an Innsmouth library is always a calculated decision. It would be wise to select your reading material with care. You may select a book as an action.
Yeah. You know the sleeping child of Dogon? Can I see the key on him? Dogon,
Yes,
sorry.
as an action, you may search for the key.
Oh,
I should inform you that
Very
if you
brief.
begin your turn outside of the library, you particularly, Rita Young, could step in, search for the key, then step out to make it 1 roll instead of 2.
I might do that if that's okay. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and then I'll be on the Heidi square, won't I?
Correct.
Yep.
Very well,
And then I can go 1, search him, and then move out. Yep.
Yes, Ms. Pan and Ms. Sharp.
Do you want to try the blocker thing with a code?
Yeah, you can do that.
Very well, interacting with the wall safe. The safe is very well
Yes.
made. It will be impossible to access without the correct combination. You are entering the combination as an action. You turn the safe dial. Enter the first number, please.
Do we want to go with that 7563?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very well. 7,
7?
5, 6, 3. With a thud, the heavy latch slides across and the safe swings open. Inside,
Nice.
you find another of the strange emblems held by the local who attacked you in your hotel room earlier in the night. You are gaining the Cult Sigil unique item. And let's see, who was that again? Ms. Sharp, yes. Of more interest are the tools Agent Craven spoke of. Gain the following items. Let's see. The Elder Ward and the Elder Sign Pendant, and the Disc of Zamna. And all of these are key items, which is to say they cannot be discarded. Well, you have key tokens here. I think it'd be easier to simply remember that. These items are henceforth referred to as wards. Please remove the search token. Apparently these tools will help contain whatever lurks in the vault. Your second action,
Okay.
please, Ms. Sharp.
I think can I use mental stimulant to improve my lore?
You may. Very well then. You drink the mental stimulant, and your lore is improved by 1. Next investigator, please.
That's me, I guess. I would like to pick up the axe.
Very well.
Boop. And then I can only move, really, right?
Yeah.
Correct, yes, unless you have an item you wish to use, or I don't believe you do.
If I go to the window/door, can I use my spell
Not
on the
this,
people in the courtyard?
Not this turn, but on future turns,
could.
certainly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I do that then. Just move towards the window, just in case.
Very well. I believe that is everyone, correct?
Yeah.
Well then. Mythos phase. Rita Young trips on some misplaced furniture. A strength roll, please, Rita. 2 is a success. Oh my.
No.
Don't believe you have anything that could rectify this dire situation, so...
My cigarette case can turn one of them to 1 success.
Which will make it a 1. You require 2.
Is it worth? No, I'll just take the
So
2.
I'm afraid this won't help. Your body hits the floor painfully. You suffer 2 face-down damage and become restrained.
No.
The guard you saw earlier continues to make their rounds. Place the Deep One hybrid as indicated, and it unfortunately locates Minty Pan. The guard seizes you and drags you back towards the cells, moving on the northern side of the courthouse, meaning unfortunately it also locates Ms. Sharp. And both are returned to the dungeons and suffer 2 damage. Strength negates.
Ooh.
Well, negated Ms. Pan.
Nice.
And Ms. Sharp. These are all 3 dice. There you are. And another successful evasion of damage. Although the door is locked behind you, it won't slow you down much now that you've studied the lock. What did I say to you, rats? The guard spits. I'd better not see you out here again. The guard dutifully continues their patrol. The child of the goat moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. Your foe's hood slips, revealing the face of an old friend. Your friend extends one hand, inviting you to follow. Mr. Edwards, a will roll, please. 2 is a success.
Sorry.
Oh dear.
No.
You are entranced. You and the monster move one space away from the child of the goat. It's rather confusing instructions, but I suppose we'll just move you 1 space away. And you become restrained. An unfortunate coincidence. Seems Pastor Monkey will have a rather dull turn next turn.
Okay.
And now a horror phase. Your foe raises a hand and one of your items appears to become a deadly viper. A will roll, please, courtyard investigators. 2 is a success. And a
Yes, I did it
successes
this
all
time.
round. You pass, you blink, and the illusion fades. It is the investigator phase once more.
Okay. Can I, as Tommy, use the well
Certainly may, yes.
and then discard 1?
Yes. Discarding your squeamish card, I assume.
Yeah. Goodbye. Where does it go?
I'll just place that
Away.
here.
Gone. Do you
And
get a sanity back as well for that, or?
that's correct, yes.
Good.
And your second action, please.
I would like to shoot the child of the goat with Becky.
Very well. You brace yourself in a proper shooter's stance. Aim and fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Here we go.
Wonderful. Your proper form earns you a hit. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage, which is to say 4. Its first damage. It does not die.
Wow.
Next investigator, please.
So Finn can't do anything. Can Rita do anything? And can I shoot through the site? I'm not next to. I'm not in the right.
I'm
square for
afraid
the site,
these site tokens lead to a set of stairs, so you are not within range of the courtyard.
Okay. So my characters aren't doing anything. Sorry.
I'm afraid so. It seemed that way.
Fair. Amanda, maybe.
Yes, Ms. Pan and Ms. Sharp. I believe you're the only ones with actions to perform. Ms. Pan and Ms. Sharp.
Yes, I'm here. Okay. And I cannot do too much sitting in this cell. So, I'll move here. And I can move again, I guess. I got nothing else.
Very well. Ms. Sharp then.
Can I move here and then use my spell to give Tommy an additional action?
You certainly may, yes. You cast
Oh, well done.
Implant Suggestion
Oh.
then. We'll
Yes.
carry out Tommy's action, then flip your card. Mr. Muldoon, what would you wish to do with your arcane-imbued power?
I would like to shoot the goat again with Becky.
Very well. You aim at your foe's center of mass. Please make an agility roll +1. The
Ooh,
result
oops.
will be that which the monster suffers. A decent roll. Are you accepting the 2, or do you wish to add anything?
I might as well re-roll 2. 1 guys with Becky and 1 with the survival pack because
Well, using both
the
of
last
your
thing.
abilities,
Yeah.
you roll 2 more dice. Oh dear.
Well.
The monster suffers 2 additional damage. Now, Ms. Pan, please flip your Implant Suggestion spell. When you stretch out to touch mine, something else slips under your defenses. A lore roll, please. 2 is a success.
Ooh.
I use one of my clues to
probably wise. There you go. You gain a new implant suggestion spell. Although,
Perfect.
then again, the downside would have been flipping damage face up. Given that you have no damage, you may wish to reconsider spending your clue. I will allow it.
Oh yeah, then I take the clue back.
Very well, you flip 2 damage face up. Much to your horror, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I believe that is everyone, yes?
Yes.
Yep.
Very well then. This Mythos event affects all investigators sharing a space with other investigators, which is to say, nobody.
Nice.
The guard you saw earlier continues to make their rounds. The deep one moves into the lobby and does not notice Rita Young, huddled, wounded beneath the table. The child of the goat moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. Your foe begins to laugh. A pale smoke erupts from between smiling lips. A observation roll, please, Mr. Edwards. 2 is a success.
Yeah.
And a success
Yes.
it is. You recognize the danger and cover your mouth to avoid inhaling the strange mist. And now a horror step for Mr. Edwards, Mr. Muldoon, and Ms. Pan. Your foe exclaims the truth of a present and imminent horror. Everyone suffers 1 face-down horror. Will negates. Rather generous, really. Seems
Yep.
Mr. Edwards is quite well. Ms. Sharp, this does not affect you. It seems Ms. Pan and Mr. Muldoon are both to suffer 1 face-down horror.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Becky and my backpack don't count for the Mythos phase now, right?
I'm
Or do
afraid
they?
they have now reactivated after suffering
Okay.
the horror, yes.
Yeah. Does Min not get a free reroll?
Correct, yes, if you haven't used
Oh, she
that.
does.
Just what the token
Ah,
cooldown
thank
was
you.
for future reference. And success.
And there it is. Thank you.
You may put this token on your character sheet to remind you that you've
Yeah.
used this ability. However, it
Yeah.
does now immediately reactivate. Investigator phase.
Oh, I'm not restrained anymore.
Nice.
Don't, can I just quickly ask? I take it if I move Rita at all, I'll get caught straight away. I can't move into another room.
An investigator already hiding in the same room may attempt to sneak away with a agility roll of 2 or higher. If they pass, they take their turn as normal, but must end in a different room. If they fail, they are discovered.
Okay. So what I'm thinking is if I fail, the deep one will move us back to the cells and then they'll capture Min. So I'll probably need to go after Min, I think.
Yeah, I think
Rita.
that makes sense.
Very well, Ms. Pan, do you wish to take your turn?
Yeah, could do. Is the child of the goat in weapons range of Tommy?
Tommy, yes, within 3 spaces.
Okay. I think then I go with Tommy first, just in case he needs another spell from
Very well.
Min.
Mr. Muldoon, I assume you'd like to shoot at the child of the goat again.
I would love so.
You drop to 1 knee, take aim and fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success. Wonderful.
Perfect.
The monster and another monster in its space. Oh, I beg your pardon, I'm getting ahead of myself. Your shot punctures clear through the figure and impacts behind it. The monster and another monster in its space each suffer damage equal to the weapon's damage. And the child of the goat is no more.
Nice.
Yay!
Do bear in mind, investigators, that you will soon have the option to exchange should you wish to should you so choose.
What do we have? Sorry.
Given that you are now free of monsters, it is likely that, once again, the locals will offer you the opportunity to return to the cells, given there are investigators to exchange with you. Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I would like to get my face up. Health damage gone.
Your broken arm, probably a wise choice. Very
Yeah.
well. Your arm rights itself as you rest on the side of a well, as I'm sure any doctor would assure you is a possibility. Next investigator, please.
Shall I do Finn next? I'll just move one, pick up the whiskey, and then I'll move another one back a space.
Yeah.
Very well. And meanwhile, in the courthouse.
If I start with Min, I would use my spell again on Tommy so he can heal up a bit more.
Very well. Would you wish to discard your damage, horror, or gain focused first, please?
I would like to discard damage, please. Health.
Very well.
Thank
Please
you.
flip
And then I
your
have to flip
implant
it.
suggestion spell. The connection pulls at your mind like a tether. Once again, a lore roll, please. Once again, 2 is a success. Let's see. If you fail, you cannot stop your thoughts from leaking out. You will suffer 1 face down horror.
You can use a clue to get rid of it. You'll get a second success.
Yeah, I do that.
Very well.
Have you used Becky's skill yet? Actually, sorry.
Becky's skill.
Min skill.
Oh no, that's a different investigator though.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry.
Min,
I can
however,
re-roll
does
with
have
Min though.
her ability. However,
Yeah, I can use hers
Very well.
and re-roll 1 die.
Please roll. There you are.
No.
Am I?
So yeah, I used 1 clue.
Clue token it is then. Here is your new implant suggestion spell.
Thank you. And as my next actions, I would move. What makes more sense, up or down?
Maybe down, because you can then go on. Because if you do 2, it takes you to the little interact where you can hide.
Yeah, I go here then.
Very well.
Oops.
Min rounds a corner and hides behind the armchair. And Ms. Sharp and Ms. Young. Ms. Sharp and Ms. Young.
I'll
give it a go.
Yeah. Okay.
Very well.
So
before you move,
if I go-
Rita, please roll agility to attempt to evade the patrolling guard.
It's 4. Please make it.
Oh, very good. Please continue.
Nice.
So 1, and then can I try and pick to get the key?
Very well. You may search for the key as an action.
Yes, please.
You quietly gag on the beast's rancid aroma and flinch at every snore, fearing they'll awaken. You may make either an agility or an observation roll.
I'm going to go agility. 4. Please, 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 please.
Oh my. You may use your lucky cigarette case or a clue token.
I'll use a clue token. No, I'll use my lucky
Select
cigarette case.
2
Sorry.
clue tokens there.
Press the wrong. Oh, wait. Yeah, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Well, a roll of
1.
1, yes. I'm sorry, you're using your cigarette case, okay.
Yes, sorry.
The creature snarls and lurches at you. You recoil in fear. The beast's eyes flicker open for a split second, but mercifully they recline in their chair again and go back to sleep. You do not need to roll to avoid waking the Child of Dagon for this action.
Okay, so I've got 2 more movement left, so I might as well. I'll leave the room so I then don't have to roll again for him.
Very well. I believe it leaves us only with Ms. Sharp.
Okay. I'm trying to work my way down to explore a little, but can I, on this turn, can I move and still have interact to hide here?
Well, if you end your turn there, you will be hidden. But I should remind you that the patrolling guard is on the opposite side of the courthouse.
Yeah, you're fine.
In relatively
Okay.
little danger.
All right. Well, then I'll take my turn and end up over here, I suppose.
Very well. Which I believe leads us along to our next mythos phase. Amanda Sharp feels crushed by their hopelessness and dread. They suffer 2 face-down horror. Observation negates. Amanda Sharp, please roll for your observation, which is to say 4 dice. Oh dear. That is 1 face-down horror unless you spend your clue. You may also use the Disc of Itzana to roll an extra dice.
I'll use that, the Disc of Itzana.
Very well. Please roll an additional die. And
Yeah.
a success.
Hey.
Together, no horror is suffered. The guards patrol takes them deeper into the courthouse. Remove the child, the Deep One hybrid. The locals approach the investigators on trial again. They throw at them a handful of dirty bandages. One investigator on trial receives the bandages common item. You may decide amongst yourselves who that investigator is.
Tommy?
Yeah, I guess I can eat it.
Patch yourself up, one of them orders. It's no fun if you die too quickly. The locals attempt to take you back to the cells, but given the absence of investigators there, you must resist. With a screech of joints that you're already beginning to associate with doom and despair, the dungeon door swings open again. Place a hunting horror. As indicated. A second serpentine beast flies from the dungeon. Both wear shackles around their necks connected to broken chains. They say second hunting horror, which we shall mark red. The red hunting horror moves 3 spaces towards the investigator within range with the lowest observation. Let's see, 4 and 4. Well, it seems we must once again turn to the cards. Investigators in the courtyard, please draw. And it flies directly towards Mr. Muldoon and attacks. The creature dives at you. An agility roll, I beg your pardon, 2 is a success.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Success it is. You sidestep the attack, and the monster tumbles to the ground in a tangle of black, rubbery appendages. The monster suffers 1 damage.
Serves you right.
The unmarked hunting horror moves 3 spaces towards the investigator within range, who has suffered the least damage, which is to say Mr. Edwards.
Well, that's worked out okay.
As a flying investigator, it is unencumbered by the aquatic barriers of the marshland. The creature bears you to the ground, its wings flapping wildly and its claws and teeth tearing into your flesh. Mr. Edwards suffers 3 face-up damage. Strength +1 negates.
Ooh. Wow.
A good roll and damage negated.
Sorry.
And now a horror check. The creature begins to clean itself, although clean is a generous term. It runs its claws over itself, scraping off chunks of dried blood and blistered flesh. Suffer 2 horror. Will -1 negates.
Dear.
How unfortunate. Mr. Muldoon, do you have anything you wish to add?
Yeah, I will use my Becky and my survival pack to
Using
do
both?
2 additional die.
I'll allow you to keep them face up as this is the horror step. Please roll 2 additional dice.
At least 1.
Very well. I believe both investigators then suffer 1 face up horror. You have Acalculia. Cannot seem to put the letters or numbers in their proper order. You know you have this skill once, but it has deserted you. You roll 1 fewer die on a lore checks. And over here we have Nyctophobia. You're not afraid of the darkness exactly, but you are afraid of what the darkness might be concealing. Wise. You suffer 1 additional horror when you end your turn in a space containing darkness. And I'm afraid, since you both suffered 1 or more horror, the sight and smell of the hunting horror makes you nauseous. You become dazed.
It just gets worse.
It is the investigator phase once more.
Great.
Should I try and steal the key first, if that's okay? See if it
Yeah,
works.
go for it.
1, 2, try and steal the key.
Well, since this is Ms. Young, you have not yet ended your movement turn, so we move swiftly along to the attempted robbery. Once again, please make either an agility or an observation roll. That is decidedly
Can I
better.
use the clue to make it 3? Do I
You
need
may.
3?
You may also use your lucky cigarette case.
I'm going to use the lucky cigarette case.
Very
Please.
well.
3 successes.
Your racing heart beats faster as your fingertips graze something cold and metal within the Child of Dagon's pocket. With surgical precision, you produce the key and gently step away. The
Good work.
brass
Nice.
key, unique item. You do not need to roll
Okay.
to avoid waking the Child of Dagon for this action.
So I've then moved my 3rd space. That's 1, 2, 3, and I'm on the hidey bit.
Successful heist. Next, investigator, please.
Do you want to go for it, Amanda?
So I am going to move down and explore.
And explore. Very well. Having walked the length of the courtyard, you know the corridors will soon lead you back to the lobby. A plain hall winds around the corner of the building. Place the hall tile, of which I'm afraid there are a few, so do bear with me for a moment.
Oh, geez.
Oh my.
Wow.
Oh my, there are so many duplicates in here. Not that one. Really separate these before the game begins, really.
Was it going to be on? It'll be the last one.
There we are.
Oh, no.
There we are, and 2 walls. At the end of the hall is a massive, sturdy vault door. Place the far more distinctive vault tile. The guard you saw earlier is making their way through the room, place the Deep One hybrid.
Ah,
Several important-looking papers lie on this desk. The hall leads only to the vault. Perhaps by studying the muddy footprints you could learn something about the person who holds the key. You also learn this from having already acquired the key, but never hurts to gather more data. The hollow clanging of something repeatedly hitting metal comes from the other side of the vault door. You may move one space into the explored area.
I think you're caught, I'm afraid, Amanda, whatever you do.
Yes, I'm afraid
well,
your
if
only options
I
are
can
to...
split, I can still split my movement, right? I still can move back here and hide.
I'm afraid you have exhausted your movement turn. I believe you began over here, did you not?
Yeah, it was
Did-
1, 2.
2?
Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately your options are only to proceed and get caught, or remain where you are and get caught.
Well, then, I'm going to stay where I am and make him work for it.
Fair enough. That is,
One question.
Yes?
If I, let's say, move Min over here, is Amanda in range for my spell through the two side
I'm
thingies?
afraid range is up to 3 spaces. These 2 spaces are 4 spaces away.
But if I'm in the lobby, then it works.
No, these do not. These do not indicate range. These are only to say that these stairs lead upwards to the roof.
Okay.
I was just thinking, Amanda, it might be worth you actually taking the hit, because I don't think Min's moved. And
Okay.
Min would get stuck with the guard there, whereas if you move into the guard, then the guard goes back to the cells and Min can then
But
run
you
away.
don't. Oh yeah, it's true. I'm hidden, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where he comes from.
I can do that then.
Very well. So you wish to move into the room, and of course you will then be discovered. The local seizes you and drags you back towards the cells, taking the shortest route, which is to say it moves this way, finding none of the cleverly concealed investigators along the way, and flings her into a cell. Ms. Sharp suffers 2 damage, strength negates.
Okay.
That is 1 damage unless you spend your clue token.
I'm okay. I'll take the damage.
Very well, 1 face up damage then. From this pile here. A minor injury. No additional effect. If I see you out of the cells one more time, I'll break your fucking legs! The guard roars. The guard dutifully continues their patrol. Seems they have been well and truly tested tonight. Next investigator, please.
I think it's only. Oh yeah, we've got Min and the ones in the garden. Sorry, not garden, courtyard.
Yeah. I think I start with Tommy and do what he does best, shooting at the horror.
Very well, add the red horror.
Yes, please.
And loath to trust your aim at range, that's a gargantuan range between you, you resolve to stand your ground until the monster moves closer. As it does, your hands begin to tremble. A will roll, please, Officer Muldoon. 2 is a success.
Come on.
Oh dear.
Well, the good old roll again with Becky first.
Very well.
Here we
And
go.
a success. An unfamiliar calm possesses you, and you recognize your opportunity and take it. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result, for a total of 6 damage. The hunting horror dies.
Good.
Mr. Muldoon, your second action, please.
What do I do?
If you want to use the well to get rid of your face up, I don't mind. I can unkill mine on my turn.
Well, the face up is not too bad because we don't have darkness around.
That's true.
Do I have to do both my actions before the other one?
Yes, you must complete your turn before we move on to another investigator.
Okay. Do I do bandages? No, I will shoot on the other hunting
Very well.
horror, please.
Attacking the unmarked hunting horror with a firearm. With the beast squarely in your sight, you open fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is required. Oh dear.
I use my survival pack for another roll.
Success. Lead punches violently into the creature's side. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result. Again, a total of 6. This time, unfortunately, not enough. Next investigator, please.
Can I attack mine with my head shears, please?
Very well. Attacking with a bladed weapon. You stab at the creature, but your blade sticks and does not penetrate. You slam the pommel of the weapon with your other hand, hoping to drive the blade in. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success. Oh dear. Hardly a success. The creature's body rebuffs the strike.
I'll do it again.
Once more.
Sorry, ignore that. Ignore that. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
The beast hurls its limbs towards you. Its many, many limbs. As you slash at them as they pass. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
You dodge just enough to get a good angle and cut deep into the creature. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus 1. The second hunting horror is no more.
Very good.
Yay.
Now, I believe that leaves Ms. Pan.
Yeah, indeed.
So I've just got to move rooms, so I might get cut off again, but I am still here.
Okay. I think I will move 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Very well, if there is no objection, then we will advance to the next mythos phase.
Sure.
Your senses are bombarded by an explosion of thunder as lightning lights the sky again. Once again, all investigators become dazed. I'm entirely certain Mr. Muldoon should still be dazed, but he is once again now.
I don't think Finn Edwards has not been dazed for quite a while.
Seems more than likely. The guard dutifully continues their patrol. The locals approach again, intent on taking investigators back to the cells. An investigator may return to the cells in place of Amanda Sharp at this point.
Tommy's all right.
Yeah, I'm happy staying out.
Very well. The judge scowls furiously. You have defiled our land for long enough. Release the ancestors. They shall cleanse you from their land themselves. The judge is getting desperate. It seems unlikely you've much time left. In response to the order, the sinister doors swing open again. Place a hunting deep 1. The Hunting Deep one moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. The Hunting Deep one shoots a jet of briny water from its maw. Mr. Edwards, an agility roll, please. 2 is a success. A
And I don't know if you
failure, if
turn
I'm
it.
not
No.
mistaken. You fail. You are knocked to the ground and momentarily blinded by the spray of salt water. Suffer 2 face-up damage and drop 1 random item.
Oof.
I'm afraid you have dropped your precious head shears.
No.
Right, let's just check what these do. No additional reflect. And the next one is flip one other card. So I've got 2. So, and that one is
Oh dear.
drop 2 random items.
I'm
Oh.
afraid your entire arsenal has come tumbling from your hands.
That's not good.
With that, we have a horror check. The creature speaks in a guttural, ancient language. Investigators on trial. A lore roll, please. 3 is a success. My, it's not looking good for Officer Muldoon. Finn Edwards, on the other
Yeah, I can
hand,
only
may pass with a perfect roll.
I only rolled 2 to begin with because I've got the horror thing.
Well then it would seem you are equally dire. You both fail, I'm afraid. You keep trying to make out the words and realize the creature is reciting a lineage that connects to yours. Suffer 2 face-up horror.
Oh, this is gonna hurt.
See, we have a minor
Flip
shock
one down.
and a second minor shock. And over
Hold
here
on,
we
just-
have...
just do-
Oh dear.
roll 1 for your die. Right, so I've got to flip over a random one of these. How do I?
That is correct. Just
Shuffle
place
them.
them together. Place the R key to shuffle them.
Okay. And flip.
And you
Drop random item.
once
Woohoo!
again flinch, this time throwing nothing from your hands, of course. And you are hallucinating, which shall encumber your observation rolls, in addition to your limited lore rolls. Right, this Finn Edwards is
I
being
need to go to
increasingly
that well, I think.
blinded. Not an ideal turn of events, I'm afraid. However, another investigative phase has come around in order for you to rectify them. However, before we do that, we have now been playing for almost 2 hours, so we will take a short break. It is now 4 minutes to the hour, or 56 minutes past. We shall return at 5 minutes past in 9 minutes, if that is acceptable to you. Please go
Yeah,
over your
sounds good.
notes, refresh yourselves, do whatever it is humans do to ensure they don't die. I don't know. I will see you all in 9 minutes.
Perfect. Cheers.
Cheers.
Welcome back, everyone. Right, as I was saying, it is now the investigator phase, as you were investigators.
Can I make a suggestion? Min, I think Rita can move 3 so she can get to the square you're on and search that clue.
Mhm.
So it might be worth if you wanted to do the next if you wanted to move and do the next clue along. Obviously, completely up to you, but I thought that might make.
No, that makes sense. Just thinking about whether the
Yeah.
2 blokes in the outside
Oh,
might
that's
need
true.
an additional turn. But you said I can't see them from the lobby because
No,
it's just
these
onto the
sight
roof,
tokens
right?
only to indicate an upwards spiraling set of stairs, so there's nothing to see specifically.
Okay. And if I go to the lounge, the big one will get me.
The big one is currently patrolling. Deep one is currently patrolling in a counterclockwise direction, so you should be safe.
And a counterclockwise one. Ah,
If I remember correctly, I might not be.
might change, yeah.
Trying to remember now, actually. But are they moving counterclockwise? Or did
I mean,
they arrested
he
a
was
man,
moving
clearly.
clockwise before, so.
Yes, that does make sense. Yeah, perhaps not the lounge then. I
Yeah.
apologize for the misinformation.
No worries. Yeah, I think the guys are on themselves then. I would probably start with Tommy and see how they do, and then decide.
That makes sense to me, yeah.
Mr. Muldoon?
Yeah, Tommy Muldoon would like to use the well for one action. Get rid of one of the sanity, the face up, preferably.
Very well. So you're discarding your nyctophobia, yes?
Yes.
Well then.
And then take a shot with Becky.
Very well.
At
Firing upon the hunting deep one.
Yes.
It is so much easier to shoot the enemy from a comfortable distance than to engage in unseemly fisticuffs. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
I will use Becky for another roll.
Oh dear.
And my survival pack for another one. Here we go.
And a success.
Yay!
It is. You passed. You brought a gun to a knife fight. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage. Just to say 4. Next, investigator, please. In case it needed to be said, the hunting deep one does not expire.
Yeah. I'll try and hit it just with my fist, if that's okay.
Mr. Edwards attacking unarmed. Your enemy's attacks are quick and relentless. You focus on evading the strikes and search for an opening to begin your counter-attack. Mr. Edwards, an observation roll, please. 2 is a success.
Oh, I'm not going to be able to do this, am I?
Au contraire, well rolled. You strike while your foe is off balance and stumble as it collapses under the weight of your blows. The monster suffers 2 damage, putting it up to 6 total. Still not enough. Your second action,
I might try and
please.
pick up my items because I've got.
Very well. Attempting an evade check against the deep one, then. The hunting deep one's brawny arms encircle your biceps and it begins to shake you. Suffer 2 damage. Strength negates.
Sorry, do I take 1 open?
1 face up damage then. And as an ironic byproduct, you drop 1 random item. So is
So
the
can I-
purpose of your face-up damage. Yes, the universe certainly wishes you to have no items. But for now, you may resist. You may draw all of your items during the trade
Yes,
item
please.
phase.
Yeah.
There you are. It's defying the fates marvelously. Next, investigator, please.
So what do we think? Do they need another turn, or do we progress with the?
I think have progress.
Okay.
Because if we wait too long, the deep one's going to come back around and stop all our turns.
Okay.
Well, trying to think what I can really do from over here. I can't. I should go this way because if I remember correctly, this gentleman wants to quote unquote break my fucking legs. So I
Do you
think
believe those were his
I'm gonna
exact
go.
words?
Maybe head this way.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Remind me, the movement is 2 or 4 on a double.
You may move
Okay.
2
4.
spaces per movement action, and you may make 2 movement actions, provided you are not wounded, which you are not.
Okay. I am gonna move.
Very well.
At 4?
That is 4 spaces, yes. The next investigator, please. Ms. Young and Ms. Pan.
Should I go next, if that's okay? Go 1, 2, 3, and search one of this.
Very well. It's evident which footprints belong to the holder of the vault key. Very few other muddy footprints lead this way. It seems Craven was correct. The massive footprints can only belong to the behemoth slumbering in the library. Gain 1 clue. Remove this search token.
A clue's always nice.
I've got 4 of them now.
And Ms. Pan.
Yes, I will move here and have a look at the table.
Very well. It seems likely the documents on the desk could shed some light on the contents of the vault, and maybe even the plans the locals have for you. The papers are of frustratingly little help. There's little in the way of hard data. Instead, you find what look like pages ripped from ancient bestiaries. The text on them is like nothing you've ever seen, but the illustrations depict some twisted abomination, like a human designed by someone with a sick sense of humor. Remove this search token and gain 1 clue. How very macabre. And with that, it is our next mythos phase. The investigator in an indoor space with the lowest observation jumps in response to a noise behind them. Which is to say, Ms. Young, as I believe we established earlier.
Yay!
And
It's always
knocks
me.
over an oil lantern. They place fire in their space and 1 adjacent space. I will allow you to choose the adjacent space.
I'm going to move away from Min, I think. So yeah, just the hall.
Very well. The guard dutifully continues their patrol, as you suspected, into the lounge. No investigator is discovered. The hunting Deep One moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. The hunting Deep One sneaks up behind you and wraps its bulky arms around your middle, lifting you into the air. A will check, please, Mr. Edwards. 3 is a success.
Well,
Luckily, your will is unencumbered and you have 4. It means a slight margin of error.
Wow.
And a perfect roll. Well done. You are able to stay calm and wriggle free from its hold. And now a horror check. The hunting Deep One mutters to you in a deep, gurgling tongue and beckons for you. And I'm sorry to say that once again, a law roll of 3 is required.
Ah,
So I'm afraid Mr. Edwards is already doomed. Mr. Muldoon, however, I notice has still not used their survival pack, so with a perfect roll, there may yet be hope.
Yeah, I will try that.
I've got one success, so I take one face up.
No, I have not yet said the
Oh, sorry.
consequence of the roll.
Oh no.
You have both failed.
I can
you
use
need-
Becky for reroll of 1.
Oh, yes, but you need
And hope
3, so this will not help you.
No, okay, if it doesn't make a difference.
You are horrified to find you understand the speech, that it conjures a sense of alien nostalgia in you. Each of you suffers 2 face-up horror and become
Ooh.
dazed.
Hey,
Everyone
I'm still
however,
dazed.
is no longer dazed. Let's see, let's start with Mr. Muldoon. We have absolute
is
terror.
shocked.
Oh
Yeah.
dear. It would seem
Mine is
Mr.
shocked.
Muldoon
Yay.
is now insane.
Yay.
So, discard these. Fortunately, you have no remaining face-up horror to contend with. Now,
Finn's down to 1, by the way.
I beg your pardon?
So as I say, Finn's got 1 sanity left.
Let's just take a look here beforehand. Both minor shocks, I assume.
Yeah, they were minor shocks. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, very well. You seem to only have
Bottom 2
Oh,
were the
yes.
ones that were minus.
No. Please do not reveal your sanity. Mr. Muldoon, please hold Shift and Alt over your card to peek at it. You cannot reveal it to the other players. Shift and Alt. There you are. If your new condition conflicts with that of your other character, you may discard it for a new one. Such as the penalty of
No, it's fine.
multiple investigators. Very well. You'll loan some credibility then, but do take everything they say with a grain of salt moving onwards. It is the investigator phase once more.
Should I open the door? Do we think that's a good idea, or do we want to try and kill the thing first?
I think open the door first. Maybe there's something in there that helps us.
Okay. I'll go 1 and use my big key on the door.
Very well, the banging sounds on the other side of the door frantically continue. An investigator with the brass key may explore. A gust of stale, chilled air greets you as you pull the heavy door open. Inside the vault is dark, claustrophobic, and crypt-like. Remove this explore token. The only feature in the vault is a tall metal coffin, standing upright, bound to the floor and walls by chains, with eldritch symbols and spell circles painted all over it. Something inside is desperately trying to escape.
Well, this can only be good.
Yeah.
You may move 1 space into the explored area.
There you go. I think that's me done. I'll stay there for Rita.
I'm afraid so. Next, investigator.
Should I investigate the coffin?
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? That's what we're here for, right?
Well, do take solace in the fact that nothing could possibly go wrong.
No. So Min is walking in there and having a good look at the coffin.
Very well, the creature in the coffin pounds furiously against the metal. You hope you'll be able to control it as Craven planned. You may attempt to break the chains as an action. Let's see if you'd like to do so. Although the chains seem virtually indestructible, the brackets which secure them to the coffin and walls are much thinner. Make a strength roll. Roll 2 extra dice if you have the axe common item, which you do.
Ooh.
That'll work.
So 5.
mind.
Wow.
What?
So I can.
Underwhelming.
How many successes does it need?
It simply requests a roll. It does not specify an objective.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can reroll one with my ability.
You may.
So do that. Yay.
One
And
success
use one of
and
my clues for
2
the
successes.
other one. So I have 2 successes in total.
Bolts begin to tear from the wall and the chains loosen. You are making steady progress. Next,
Okay.
investigator, please.
I can also use. Oh no, I can't. No. Never mind.
So I'm afraid Min has but 1 movement space remaining.
I stay there.
Which means Ms. Sharp and investigators in the courtyard.
Do I take damage going through the fire?
When you step into a space containing fire, you will take 1 face-down damage unless you roll to extinguish the fire, which will be an action. From your current
But you
position.
will just end up in the vault office, and then the deep one might get you.
Okay.
So you probably want to not to do that.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? Does this count as 1 space away? Am I within range of these guys?
For the 3rd time now, I believe, these site tokens do not indicate a lack of barrier.
Hey now. Okay. I'm gonna move 1 space here and hide.
Very well.
Stay within range.
Meanwhile, in the courtyard.
Tommy, are you okay to shoot it first?
Yeah.
Very well. Attacking
We'll
the
do that then.
hunting-
So taking aim and fire with Becky on the hunting deep one, please.
As you wish, you brace yourself in a proper shooting stance. Aim and fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is required. Oh dear.
Brilliant. So I will use Becky and the survivor pack.
Very well, using both items.
Mm-hmm.
Oh dear,
It's
a
not enough.
failure then. You take too long aiming and your foe jumps aside. Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I will try to shoot him again with Becky.
And again. You empty your weapon in your foe's general direction, then retreat to reload. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Come on. Yeah.
A success. 1 of your shots lands. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage, putting it up to a total of 10 damage. The aquatic leviathan endures. Mr. Edwards.
I'm not sure if I should attack it or try and use the whiskey first. I'll attack. I think it's the only.
Very well. Attacking with a bladed weapon, I assume.
Yes, please.
Your opponent catches your wrist, your blade stopped mere inches from its flesh. You struggle to push the blade home. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success.
Oh, I really need a bit of luck.
Yes.
And you shall receive. Your enemy's defense gives way, and your weapon bites deep. The monster suffers damage equal to your test result plus 1.
That's
The
5.
hunting deep one dies.
God.
Whew, well done.
So my second action, I will use my whiskey to discard 2 I'll discard 2 face down horrors. So 1.
Very well. Face
Oh,
up.
sorry. Apologies. I was making a
That's the way
mistake.
you are. And with a smash, you are
Well,
left
at
with a
least gives
broken
me-
bottle to attack with. And I believe that takes us along to our next Mythos phase. The fire spreads out of control. Place a fire in a space adjacent to a space containing fire. As before, I will allow you to place the fire. Just to decide amongst yourselves.
Can we place it towards the guard, actually?
You may. But I should state that as a non-active monster, they do not suffer damage.
No.
Maybe towards the lobby. Because again, at some point we have to go through the door in the lounge. What do people think?
I'm not sure there's any good options, to be fair. I think we need to try and get rid of this fire as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lobby seems fine.
It's fine, and then I'll try to.
In fact,
Well then, the fire spreads into the lobby. After spending the
Sounds
entire
good.
night fighting for their lives, each investigator approaches their physical limit. Each investigator suffers 2 face-up damage. Strength negates. Now during the Mythos phase, so Amanda Sharp, do remember your Disc of Itzana. Oh dear. Seems some strength is to be suffered. Amanda, remember you can roll an additional dice.
Okay, I'll do that.
I'm going to use a clue for Rita. So Rita and Finn both only had 1 success.
Very
So
well.
they take 1 face
Yes, 1
damage.
face-up damage each then.
I have 1 success after using my thingies. So 1
Yeah.
face-up damage, I guess.
Well, beg your pardon, didn't you already use your items?
I thought they reset for the Mythos phase.
No, not until the end of the Mythos phase.
Ah, okay, then no success.
Well then,
Oh, I've got a discard immediately, and I have no improvements, so that helps.
wonderful. Let's see, we have a minor injury for Mr. Muldoon. 2 minor injuries, in fact. And how did
Nice.
Minty Pan fare? How did Ms. Pan fare?
Ah, sorry. Here we go. Very well.
Successfully negated. And all damage has been suffered over here, yes?
Yes, yeah. I got a throwaway one, which was very lucky. And then that one was just, I can't move barricades, but we haven't got any barricades. So.
No. So, with that, the guard dutifully continues their patrol, leisurely strolling into fire. Not a locality to mess with for these Innsmouthians. Locals, anyway. Regardless, they discover no investigators in the hall. The locals approach the investigator on trial, however there is no one to exchange them with. The doors grind open again, and another of the foul aquatic beasts emerge, placing a regular deep one and a second.
Eek.
The unmarked deep one moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator. Of course, these are aquatic creatures, meaning it moves directly towards Mr. Muldoon. Grappling with the hybrid seems to have aggravated an old wound. Flip 1 damage face up. Then the maniac actually leans forwards and bites you. So, first of all, please flip 1 damage face up, Mr. Muldoon.
Oops.
A minor injury. But now you suffer 2 face down damage. Oh, I beg your pardon. Strength negates.
Okay. On.
1 face down damage.
Oops.
There you are. The red Deep One hybrid moves 2 spaces towards the nearest investigator and attacks. Mr. Edwards, the monster shuffles forward and back, circling you and croaking. An observation roll, please. 2 is a success. You remember your observation is limited due to your hallucinations.
I have 1 success.
Yeah. Which means you fail. You slip on a puddle of slick seawater and the creature dives on top of you, tearing at your flesh. Suffer 1 face-up damage, 1 face-down horror, and become stunned.
Hey!
You're lightheaded. Please flip
Flip
1 horror.
1
face
horror
up.
face
Where's
up.
your face-down
So do I
horror,
draw my
first of
face
all?
down one first? Yeah.
Correct. So you have places there for you. A minor shock. Very fortunate. Which takes you down to 3 health and 2 sanity, yes. And now,
Was it 2?
I beg your pardon, you are also stunned. You are not, however, dazed to my knowledge.
Yay!
Woohoo!
And now a horror check. The Deep One's gills flare as its musculature seems to ripple beneath its wet, scaly flesh. It begins to slam and claw at the ground in a fury. Suffer 2 horror. Will negates.
Yeah.
And Mr. Muldoon endures. As does
Yay!
Mr. Edwards. Congratulations. It is now the investigator phase once more.
Should we try and break out this thing in the chains to see if because I think
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
You should.
Very well. Who would like to go first,
Yeah.
please?
I think Min would like to get her axe out and smash the
Well.
chains.
As before then, a strength roll with 2 additional dice, please. That is 2 successes as of so far.
I'd like to use my ability to reroll one of them.
Very well. 2
Let's
successes,
see.
1 investigation.
3
3
successes.
successes and 1 investigation. You wish to spend your clue token?
Yeah, why not? To make sure that we get it out.
4 successes. The last of the brackets are torn from the wall and the chains drop to the floor. With a crash, like a cannon blast, the coffin's door goes flying, just barely missing you before embedding itself in the vault wall. Remove this search token. For a moment, it seems as though the coffin is empty, before the air inside begins to flicker and distort. Like an angry swarm, the distortion rushes past you, colliding off the walls before eventually coming to rest, starting at a forehead with a glowing yellow sigil carved into it. A creature gradually flickers into existence. Place a dimensional shambler. As indicated. Responding to the noise, the guard races through the halls, ignoring any investigators along the way, moving to where it already is. Upon rushing into the hallway and discovering the beast is free, the local adopts a look of horrified dismay, baring their teeth in a resentful snarl. Their dismay turns out to be warranted when the beast grabs hold of their head and pulverizes it against the wooden floor with an unearthly, ear-splitting roar. Remove the Deep One hybrid. The creature turns its head towards the nearest ward and shrieks fearfully, the symbol on its head glowing brighter and steaming slightly. Just as Craven suspected, the wards from the safe are used to keep the creature captive and afraid. Perhaps you can coax it towards the courtyard and compel it to free your friends. Mir, Minty Pan, your second action, please.
So what can we do now?
I've got that ward thing, I think, that he was talking about.
Yeah. So Dome, if you move into a fast-paced, is extinguishing a free action or does it cost an action?
I'm afraid rolling to attempt to extinguish a fire is an action in of itself. You must roll your agility, and the number you roll is the number of fire spaces you may put out to that turn.
So what I was just thinking is, Min, if you had 2 goes or just 1?
I have 1 go.
So it might be worth just moving 1 space.
Yeah.
And then
will this shambler attack me?
I
well, I think
confirm at this point, I'm afraid.
Sorry?
Yeah.
But I cannot confirm how the shambler will react until the mythos phase.
Yeah. What I also could do is I can grant Rita just another action, so you have 3 of them.
Okay. Oh, brilliant. Yeah, because we probably want Amanda to get... Can Amanda see the monster?
The monster is not within range presently.
Where
do you have
got the stuff, hasn't she? I think we need to get him up 1 square.
Yeah.
Amanda, sorry, I was going to say. Ooh,
So we basically have to get Amanda into the lounge so that he follows her?
Or maybe into the same square as him, and she could order, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Amanda, are you prepared to risk some fire?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I don't have enough damage right now that it's going to bother me too much. And lest we forget, I have a little vial of holy water, so I think that'll come in to play.
Oh, yeah.
Sprinkle a little bit of that about, and I think we'll be just fine.
Yeah, because I think our 2 in the courtyard are not going to last much longer.
No.
So.
Okay. Should I go?
So, no, I think Min still has to, but I use my gameplay suggestion to grant another action to Rita.
Rita Young, please
Okay,
perform
I'll
one
go
turn.
1, 2, and then try and extinguish the fire.
I beg your pardon, but extinguishing the fire is an action in of itself. For this turn, you may roll your agility to determine how much fire you can put out this turn.
Okay, roll my agility. 4.
Excellent. 3
Nice.
successes. Miss Pan, please flip your implant suggestion spell. The power flows through you, intoxicating and vast. A lore roll, please. 3 is a success.
Oh, we need you to be.
Not quite. You briefly lose track of who you are. Discard a clue which you fortunately do not have. And here's your new implant suggestion spell. Now, Rita Young, you may go next, and you may extinguish.
So I rolled
fire.
3 successes. So does that mean I can distinguish 3 bits of fire?
Yes. So you were here. So for your first action, you may now move into the fire.
1, 2, yeah, and then 1. Am I worth risking to go? Because if I run past the Shambler, I can get rid of all the. Or should I just? 1, 2. Oh, do I? I'm not sure if I want to end. I'll just stop there if that's okay.
Very well.
Or should I? No, I'll try and turn the fire off. But she's taking some damage. Sorry. Anybody? Any thoughts?
I mean, you have like a third action, don't you?
Yeah. So yeah, I'll put my 3 to end up in there and get rid of the fire. Do I get rid of 1 total?
That is correct. You have 1 action remaining.
I'm going to move again.
1 moment. You will have to evade the Shambler, of course.
I'll give that. Yeah, I'll like to try and evade.
Well, now that you're close to the creature, you fully appreciate just how sinister and alien it is. Suffer 2 horror. Will negates. Success.
Yes.
You may continue.
Good work.
And then I get rid of that fire.
And
So
the fire is extinguished.
Well done.
we want Amanda to try go into the thing and coax it with your powers.
Okay, so yeah, is this a coax or is it a push? Do I get into the space and push it away, or does it follow me?
If you're
Guess we have
asking
to try
me,
to find
I'm
out,
afraid I
right?
don't have any of that information yet.
All right, well then I'm going to move into the space.
You take it to leave the
Sorry
table
about that.
behind.
Take your hide with you.
Yeah, I can't bring hiding spaces with me. What kind of game is this? All right.
And
Okay, so now I guess I'd like to try to interact with this thing, or
well, as an active monster, your only options are to attack or evade it.
Then based on its movement before, I think it follows you. So if you want to evade it and get into the lounge, I think that's the way
okay,
to go.
let's do that.
All right, attempting to evade. As before, please roll will to negate 2 horror. So please roll 4 dice.
Pardon me. Can you repeat that? What am I rolling?
Yes, now that you're close to the creature, you fully appreciate how sinister and alien it is. Suffer 2 horror. Will negates.
Will. Okay.
Oh my.
Ouch.
That is 2 face-up
Ouch.
horror. However, you may still continue with your action.
Oh, that's good.
You may roll 1 additional dice with the Elder Sign Pendant.
Okay.
Yeah, you might want to do that. Yeah.
Downside to doing so.
Jeez.
2 face-up horror it is. A minor shock.
And it's 2, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
And a sudden shock. Drop 2
No.
random items. Oh my.
Oof. Don't drop the important one.
Well, luckily you have 3 of them, so
This has been a
Okay.
good turn. Great.
Cult Sigil and your holy water. Now, let's see
Very
what
well.
we have.
I don't know. Do you need that though?
However, yes, you may now continue with your second action, Ms. Sharp.
Okay, I'm going to continue into the next room.
Very well.
I hope he doesn't look for the one on the ground.
Well, the one on the ground is not a ward, it is a cult sigil.
Ah, okay.
No bearing
Okay.
on the dimensional shambler. And next, investigator, please. I believe it's just the ones in the courtyard.
Yes.
Thus far, neither deep one has suffered any damage.
If Muldoon goes first, I would like to use my bandages.
Very well. Mr. Muldoon, please, you will now have to pass an evade check against the deep one. The deep one crouches low and flings itself into the air with a frog-like leap. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Whew.
Success. You
Yes.
step to the side and it lands hard. The monster suffers 1 damage. And now you wish to use your bandages, yes?
Yeah.
Very well. Please select 2 face-down damage to discard.
This one. Nice.
Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I would like to shoot at the one who just got damaged, please.
The unmarked deep one.
Yes.
You bluff going to reload, and your foe takes the chance to charge. You fire quickly at the off-balance figure. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
I would like to use Becky for a roll. And my survival pack. Come on.
Very well. 1 success and 2 investigations so far.
Oh,
And a failure. You begin firing, but do not manage a clean shot. Mr. Edwards.
I will just try and. I've only got 1 action because I'm stunned, so I'll just try and hit it with my head shears.
Attacking
Which is
the
a bladed
red
weapon.
deep one hybrid, deep one with a bladed weapon. You try to sweep your enemy's arms aside while stabbing with your other hand. A strength roll, please, Mr. Edwards. 2 is a success. And
Yes!
a success it
Ooh.
is. The maneuver leaves your foe wide open to your cruel blade. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage plus your test result for a total of 5 damage. The deep one lives.
Oh, no.
And with that, it is our next mythos phase. Tommy Muldoon flinches in response to a distant inhuman snarl. They suffer 2 horror. Law negates. Certainly not Mr. Muldoon's strong suit, I'm afraid.
Ah,
Dear. 1 face up horror. A minor shock. However, since they have suffered 1 or more horror, Mr. Muldoon is now restrained.
ah.
Oh. Hey.
Lucky you're armed. The rune on the dimensional shambler's head glows brightly, particularly when it's close to the wards. It roars in distress. The nearest investigator holding a ward moves the dimensional shambler up to 3 spaces away. Minimum of 1. I'm afraid you guessed wrong. Ms. Amanda Sharp, please move the dimensional shambler up to 3 spaces away.
okay. All right. I'm looking for advice. Where do I put this guy?
I will read the rest before you choose. The dimensional shambler attacks any investigator in a space who it shares a space with, and if the dimensional shambler begins in the lounge on the space adjacent to the courtyard door, the investigator may compel it to break through the door.
Oh,
But yes, for now, you must move it at least 1 space away.
Probably put it into the middle of the hall,
Yeah.
and then we have to try to let you run past him next time.
Yeah, I think that's.
I mean, is the goal to push it back where it came from, back into the vault?
No, the goal is to get it to you. So it's almost
Okay.
like we're going to have to push him away, and then you're going to have to run past it to push it to where you are now.
Right. Okay.
Given that you bear no ill will towards these young, I'd have thought you'd like to move it one space to the right.
Yeah, I think that's probably.
Unless I've mistaken you and Rita's relationship.
I think here, Hall 2, the space to
Very
the
well.
right.
The Deep One
Oh.
moves towards the nearest investigator and attacks. This is the Red Deep One attacking Mr. Muldoon. The snarling figure peels back both lips and teeth to reveal a second, more awful set of teeth within. Mr. Muldoon, a will roll, please. 2 is a success.
Ooh, did you say the red one? Sorry.
Correct.
Oh, well, the red one's on me, I think.
I beg your pardon, that is right. Mr. Edwards, a will roll, please.
Yeah, I think we'll. I've got 3.
I beg your pardon, but I
No.
believe your will is 4, is your observation and
Oh,
law.
Oh, I thought it was one of them. All right, so I can roll.
However,
that,
since you have only rolled
I'm going to
clues,
fail
I
anyway.
see no option here.
I fell completely.
I'm afraid
no.
so. You cry out loud and stagger backwards, injuring yourself. Suffer 1 face-up damage and 1 face-down horror. And then flip 1 horror face-up.
Okay, so I'm just
You
going to
suffer
do
your
the face
face-up
up.
damage first.
Yeah, so flip that.
A minor injury.
That's fine. Okay, let's take one of these. Flip.
And a minor
No
shock.
additional effect. Okay.
Nice.
Not the worst
So
outcome.
I'm down to 1. Oh
Yeah.
dear. I'm down to 2 health and 1 sanity.
So
Oh, that looks
seems
good. Not too bad.
The unmarked Deep One turns its attention on Mr. Muldoon. The hybrid slips behind you and draws a coral-encrusted dagger across your neck. A strength roll, please, officer. 2 is a success.
Come on. Yeah, here we go.
Success. You manage to kick free of the hybrid's grasp. And now a horror check. You hear a horrible scrunching sound and realize the Deep One is gnawing on a worm-ridden human arm. Suffer 1 face-up horror with no possibility of negation.
Oh.
Now, Mr. Edwards, you will need to draw a horror that compels it be discarded immediately if you are to keep your mind.
Okay. Did you say face up horror? Yeah.
Correct.
Okay.
No such luck,
No, it's
I'm
minor
afraid.
shot. So.
Which means Mr. Edwards is now insane. But first, let's look over to Mr. Muldoon.
Minor shock.
A minor shock, very well. 1 moment, please, Mr. Edwards. You keep your face-up horror, I'm afraid.
Oh, sorry, I thought I discarded. Oh, apologies.
And you are now insane. As before, if you draw an insanity card which directly conflicts with your sane investigator, feel free to replace it. Please hold Shift and Alt to peek at your card.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Excellent. Then, in that case, investigator phase.
Oh, can I lose my... Oh, no, that's insane. So I'm finally not dazed.
I think I'm
is it
not
worth...
restrained anymore.
Is it worth Amanda running past the monster so she can get it to go in next time?
I'm willing to hand that off to somebody else if somebody wants to take that ward, but I think I have to, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could, I suppose you could move 2 to me and give it all to Rita, and Rita could run past if you wanted to, or it's up to you.
How many of them do you have?
There are 3 wards in total.
Does each ward works individually?
Well, last time the Shambler reacted to whomever had the closest ward.
So it's probably good to keep them all at one person if we want to predict what they're doing a bit better.
Then I can just run past and see how that goes.
I should
Yeah,
point
I mean,
out you could simply remain on the Shambler's space to avoid passing an evade check.
Oh yeah. Because it wouldn't attack you, would it, if you just stopped there?
Okay. Yeah. I think I'll just move there into its space then.
Very well, Amanda Sharp approaches the Shambler. Next investigator, please.
I think Rita might just go pick these up and then move back out the way.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go 1, pick them up, and then 2, 3.
There you are, Ms. Young. Over there. Next investigator.
What could Min do?
Not a great deal, I fear.
It's probably worth maybe moving 2 up to where the monster is, because we're going to have to get out at some point, aren't we?
Yeah. I think I will do that. Right there. And forfeit my second action.
Very well, then, our combatants.
I'll attack, if that's okay, for my first one. Attack the deep one.
Yes, Mr. Edwards versus Red Deep One. Attacking with a bladed weapon, I assume.
Yes, please.
You swap your weapon from hand to hand, circling your foe and looking for an opening. When you find one, you lunge forwards with diabolical speed. An agility roll, please, +1.
Nice.
Two.
Yay.
The monster suffers damage equal to your test result. The red deep one has now suffered 7 damage. It does not die.
No.
Your second action, please, Mr. Edwards.
I'll attack it again, please.
Very well. Your foe catches your stab, and you struggle to push the blade the final few inches while the figure struggles to turn the blade on you. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success.
Oh no. I really needed it to die.
Success.
Yes!
Your foe's
Yes.
strength wavers, and the sharp edge slices its flesh. The monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage and dies.
Oh, thank God. So,
Nice.
Mr. Muldoon.
I shoot at the unmarked one.
A firearm attack. It is so much easier to shoot the enemy from a comfortable distance than it is to engage in unseemly fisticuffs. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
I will use Becky to re-roll 1.
Very well.
Here we go.
Success. You brought a gun to a knife fight, and the monster suffers damage equal to the weapon's damage, giving it a total of 5, which, as we previously established, is not enough.
I will shoot at it again.
As you wish. Your hands shake as adrenaline pumps through your veins. You open fire despite the difficulty. An agility roll, 2 is a success. Oh my.
I will use my survival pack. No.
You fail. The shaking proves too much, and your shots veer wildly off course. Which I believe takes us to our next mythos phase. The investigator in an indoor space with the lowest agility hastens their pace fearfully until they trip. Let's see, an agility of 4, an agility of 3, and 4. Ms. Sharp, I'm afraid, suffers 2 face-up damage. Strength negates. We are during the Mythos phase. One moment, please, Ms. Sharp. Roll for your strength with an additional dice due to the disc of Itzamna. So 4 dice in total. And
Yes!
damage negated. The Deep One attacks the nearest investigator. The hybrid slams a shoulder into your chest with inhuman strength. A strength roll, please, Mr. Muldoon. 2 is a success.
Come on, fingers
There you go. Ugh.
Oh dear. You fail. You think you feel something crack inside you as you go sprawling. Suffer 3 face-up damage.
Oof.
Let us hope none of these require you to suffer more damage. Grievous injury. Oh dear. Suffer 1 additional face-down damage. However, you do
No.
also become focused. That's nice. And unfortunately, ruptured eardrums remain. You are now focused. However, you are also wounded, which means you are now confined to 1 strength roll, movement action per turn.
Ooh, do we get to move the Shambler now?
The rune on the Dimensional Shambler's head grows brightly as before. Yes, the nearest investigator holding a ward may move them up to 3 spaces away.
Okay. Well, then I think I will just move that guy 3 spaces away. 1, 2, 3.
No, break the thing if you
Here,
can.
just here.
Yeah.
As the dimensional, if the Dimensional Shambler begins on this space, it may break the wall on the next turn.
All right. Okay.
So I assume for now you wish to simply move it there.
I think that'll do.
Yeah.
Marvelous. And, let's see. The Dimensional Shambler attacks any investigator it shares a space with. So yes, I'm afraid it does also attack Ms. Pan and Ms. Sharp. The Dimensional Shambler swings an unnaturally long arm at you, more anxious for you to get away from it than it is to harm you. Suffer 2 face-up damage. Strength negates. Ms. Pan and Miss Young, please roll strength. And has evaded. Ms. Young, a strength roll, please.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 damage. So yes, you have both resisted the damage. Congratulations. And now a horror check against the remaining Deep One. Gurgling to itself, the Deep One slinks into the shadows and attempts to hide. An observation roll, please. 2 is a success.
Is that for Finn as well? Yeah.
Yes, for Finn and Tommy. I'm afraid it's a failure for Mr. Muldoon unless he spends his focused. And a failure.
Yeah, I spent my focused.
Edwards regardless. Well then, Mr.
I
Muldoon.
failed by 1.
I beg your pardon? A failure, I assume.
Sorry, Finn failed by 1.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Muldoon keeps track of the creature's movement, ever wary. Mr. Edwards, on the other hand, fails. He finds a hidden monster far more unnerving than one he can see. Suffer 2 face-up horror and become dazed. Yes, you haven't actually only 1 horror remaining. In fact, now you have 2.
Do I still get 2 even though I failed by 1? Yep.
Correct, yes. So you have a minor shock and a second minor shock. Be aware, though, if you suffer 2 more horror, you will be eliminated. succeeded.
Oh, not
And
good.
with that, it is the investigator phase once more.
I guess now we just have to keep them outside alive and hope that the Shambler crushes through the door.
Yeah. Do you want to I think Tommy, do you want to try and see if you can kill it, and then we can both use the well?
Yeah.
Right.
So I would like to shoot at the deep one.
Attacking the deep one with a firearm. You take aim at the figure's legs, hoping to slow its advance. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
I will reroll one with Becky.
Very well.
And with my survival pack, that's going so well at the moment.
Oh, no such luck, I'm afraid. Your quick footwork on your enemy's part allows it to remain unharmed. Your second action, please, Mr. Muldoon.
I will shoot at it again.
As you wish. You brace yourself in a proper shooter's stance. Aim and fire. An agility roll, please. 2 is a success.
Just notice I can only use 3 die for the agility check.
I think so, yes.
No.
Your strongest feature, in fact. As it will take you take too long aiming, and your foe jumps aside. Next investigator, please.
How much damage did it really take? Sorry.
The unmarked deep one has suffered 5 damage.
Right, I'm going to use my painkillers to get rid of a face down horror and a face down wound. And I
Very
think
well.
that's my go. Oh, yeah. So just I can't remember which one was which. These are minor shocks, so it doesn't matter.
I would ask you to shuffle before you choose. I think memorizing which they
Well-
were is cheating. However, since those were both minor shocks, I will allow that.
Yeah, that's why I did it like that. So that one I will get rid of. Right. And then for my second action, I can't shoot from a distance.
Not with hedge trimmers, you can't.
No, I can't do anything from a distance. What can I do?
Taking the painkillers and just letting me die.
How much?
Perhaps their
You've got
insanity
more
was a
wounds than me.
factor in that decision.
I might move out the way. What should I do? Tommy, do you need me? I can't do anything.
Well, decision's difficult.
It's going to break through next time, isn't it? So I might move 1, 2 out the way.
Very well.
Because hopefully this baddie will then go and attack the other baddie. I'm not abandoning you, I promise, Tommy. I'll come back next time.
Sure.
Uncertain words from the insane
pardon me.
investigator there. Next investigator, please.
I was thinking, for the 2 that are left, are we worth just going to the front so we can all escape? Or...
I don't know.
Right.
What if we have to fight this thing, even if it breaks through the door?
Yeah.
So I think we should stay relatively close to it.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree.
Very well, the forces rally then.
So as Min, I would just move here, and that's it.
Very well, next investigator.
I'll do the same.
And Ms. Young.
I'll go and join them. Why not?
Very well. forces unite. The mythos phase returns.
Oh, hold on. I might have had a second action, actually.
Well, I have already begun the mythos phase.
Oh, sorry,
Unless
yep.
you wish to
Yeah.
manipulate your cards somehow. No, very well then. A third bolt of lightning devastates the sky above the courthouse. More prepared this time, each investigator flinches, covering their eyes. Each investigator, please make a observation roll. 2 is a success. And it's a success for Ms. Sharp. And Ms. Young.
Success.
Mr. Muldoon is the only failure so far. Oh,
And I failed by
and
1.
Mr. Edwards joins him. So, Mr. Muldoon, Mr. Edwards, you are almost blinded, become dazed and restrained.
Of course.
Stunned. You got your card there, I think. Everyone else, you endure the worst of the glare and only become dazed. The Deep One attacks. The hybrid bellows and swings a rusted length of pipe at your head. An agility roll, please, Mr. Muldoon. 2 is a success. Oh my. What a bleak metaphor for your current situation. You stumble backwards as the pipe grazes your scalp, suffer 1 face down damage, and become stunned.
Oh no.
Good grief, what a sorry state of affairs. Which is to say, you have 1 action, it cannot be a move action, and you cannot spend clue tokens. Luckily, you don't have any clue tokens.
Oh, but you can go to the well, though, and discard.
You may use the well,
yeah.
yes.
You're in the
Assuming
right
you can evade
place.
the
I'm
deep one.
clearly not.
Yeah, but I guess I have to shoot the thing.
The Dimensional Shambler may now be commanded to break through the door.
Do it.
Very
Okay.
well. With a crash, the
I
Shambler
command-
breaks through the door with a shower of splinters and it lumbers out into the courtyard. Remove this sight token. For a moment, the roaring of the Innsmouth mob is replaced by hushed silence before they once again explode in outrage. The Shambler roars more desperately and frantically than ever before. It begins to claw at its own forehead, scraping away skin and flesh, chunk by chunk. The flesh on which the sigil was carved falls at its feet until finally, standing in a pool of its own blood, the Dimensional Shambler flickers away. Remove the Dimensional Shambler and place a rift in its space. The outsiders are attempting to defy justice, the judge bellows. Kill them all! The crowd begins to file towards the stairs. Within moments, the courthouse will be packed with locals yearning for your blood. Beyond the courthouse lobby, you hear the honk of a car horn. It seems as though the entire town came to watch a trial, so it doesn't seem unreasonable to assume Craven's extraction vehicle has arrived. If they're compromising their stealth by honking their horn, it also seems likely that you are running late. An investigator in the lobby may now flee for the streets beyond. And now a horror check against the Deep One. You hear a horrible scrunching sound. You realise the Deep One is gnawing on a worm-ridden human arm. Mr. Muldoon and Mr. Edwards both suffer 1 face-up horror. Do save some for the rest of us, Mr. Muldoon. A minor
Seem to get it
shock
all.
and
Startled.
no effect
No
whatsoever.
effect, discard. Whee!
How very fortunate. Which means it is now the investigator phase once again. You're in a dire situation, investigator. I would advise you to leave as soon as you can.
So, not that I'm being a coward. But Rita Young is incriminating evidence, so I think I might just get her out. So if people do die, at least we've completed the scenario. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
So 1, 2, and then for a second interaction, interact again to the
Very
car.
well. With any luck, Craven is waiting outside with the getaway driver, ready to escape this horrific town once and for all. An investigator on this space may flee for the courtyard, flee the courthouse. An investigator escapes. The investigator flees for the getaway vehicle, not daring to look back at their colleagues for fear of what they might see. Remove your investigator from the board. Next investigator, please.
To be fair, I think Min does the same.
Yeah.
Very well.
I think.
Min, also, please.
Yeah, I mean, I'm restrained, so Finn can't even move, so I'm happy. I'm not going to complain if people just leave, because we're not going to make it.
Yeah, how very
Okay.
morbid.
And for my turn, I think I'm going to do the same.
And Amanda Sharp escapes the courthouse. How does it feel, Mr. Muldoon, Mr. Edwards? It seems your colleagues have abandoned you to your grim fate.
Classic. I think Muldoon shoots at the thing. It's not going without a fight.
Very well. You aim for your foe's center of mass. An agility roll, please. +1.
Ooh.
Come on, you can do this.
Here we go.
Of 3, which I'm happy to say is exactly how much health the deep one had remaining. It dies.
Goodbye, fish hat.
Which means only Mr. Edwards now has 1 action, should they wish to take it.
I actually can't do anything.
I'm afraid it seems that way.
I've got no cards. I've only
No longer dazed or restrained, and it is now the Mythos phase. The angry bellows of the mob, the great stomping of their boots gets louder as they make their way down the building. They will reach the lobby in moments. Each investigator in an indoor space suffers 2 horror, which is to say nobody. Investigator phase.
Oh, wow.
Let's move. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Yeah, I can only go 1, 2.
Oh no,
Yeah,
sorry.
of course, yes, you're wounded. You may,
Yeah.
however,
Ah,
purposefully
I see.
forfeit your second action and become lost in time and space.
Is it good?
I think you choose where you come back if you do Lost in Time and Space.
Yes,
So
if
you
you
can
are
come back
able
in
to
the
find
lobby.
your way back, you may return.
So would you have to return to the Rift if you came back?
No, 1 moment, please. I believe I may have forgotten to say something. Yes, when you're returning from time and space, you may place yourself in any space. And, yes, here we are. I beg your pardon. An investigator who is lost in time and space may flee the courtyard instead of returning. The courthouse.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well,
do it.
I'd do that then.
Very well. You forfeit your second action and become lost in time and space. And with that, it is the Mythos phase once more. The roar of the locals becomes deafening as they march by the dozen from the staircase into the lobby, place a riot on each lobby space with a sight token.
Door's right there.
Oh
It's a very
Lots of evading.
ending. The riot, the unmarked riot attacks. The locals furiously swarm you before you can even brace yourself. Finn Edwards suffers 3 face-up damage with no possibility of evasion.
So 3 face up, okay. 1, 2, 3. I just flip them.
A minor
So
injury, a
first
second
one.
minor injury, and a gut shot. You become
Ooh.
stunned. However, you do discard this card, meaning you are not injured. Wounded, I beg your pardon.
Wow, you might get out of this not.
Well, let's let the second riot have their say first. The other riot moves towards the nearest investigator and attacks all investigators in their space. Even as the locals attack you, you can't help but wonder what could happen to a person to make them act like this. Suffer 2 damage and 2 horror. Will negates.
So I think that is 4. Please, come on.
Oh my.
No,
You
1
must suffer
success.
either 2 damage and 1 horror, or 1 damage and 2 horror.
Are they all face up?
Correct.
I think because I've got 7, I'll take 2 face up damage because then that'll make me wounded. And I'll take
Well,
1
they are
face up
face
horror.
up, so you'll have to look at them first.
Yeah. So 1, 2, and then I'll take the horror. Oh, I picked from the wrong.
Yes, I believe you do
Sorry.
from the discard
Yeah,
pile
sorry.
there.
Right, flip. So the first one.
Oh my, a
Broken leg. Right.
Well, probably not unless you
Minor.
only need to move 1 more space.
Flashback. Flip another horror. I've only got 1 unflipped.
I believe it's a minor shock, so it is.
Yeah.
However, yes,
So
you
I'm-
are now wounded, I'm afraid. And now a horror check. The riot begins shouting and breaking things at random in the area. The sound of shattering glass and shouting is joined by the crackle and roar of flame. Place fire in the monster's space, then suffer 1 face down horror. Will -1 negates.
Oh.
No. So
1
face down horror.
horror.
So,
Very lenient.
sorry.
Right.
I've just got.
Just the 1 left, I'm afraid. Well then, investigators, if you will pardon my vulgarity, run for your life.
So I'm going to go 1. Do I
Well,
have
you
to do
will
an evade
pass
check?
an evade check first, if you don't mind. You
Yes,
sprint through the heart of the tumult, spinning and whirling like a footballer. Suffer 3 face down damage. Agility -1 negates.
Oh,
So 2 face down.
Face down damage.
And I think that gets me out.
Well, that would be ideal, wouldn't it? But unfortunately,
1.
since you suffered 2 or more damage, a stray fist catches you directly on the temple, and your vision swims. You forfeit the action and become dazed.
Oh no.
Oh, you could have just let me get out.
You should have jumped in the rift.
I
Would
know, I
you
didn't realise I
like
could
to
have done that.
spend your second action on attempting to evade?
Yeah, go on, please.
The riot surrounds you and attempts to pin you down. A strength roll, please. 2 is a success.
I think I'm dead.
Success!
No.
You punch one of their
Yes.
number on the nose and pull yourself free. You may now move.
Can I move to
You may not
get out?
interact, I'm afraid.
Oh, I think I'm dead.
Seems entirely possible. Now, Mr. Who was lost in time and space? Mr. Muldoon.
Yes.
I forgot to give you a lost in time and space card. My apologies. There you are. Please flip your lost in time and space card. You recall an anomaly in this time period and try to access it safely. A lore roll, please. 2 is a success.
Oof.
I'm
So
afraid
good at
given
that.
that you are not in any space right now, you may not use the survival pack.
Ugh. May I use Becky though?
You may.
Come on. Here we go.
Success. You joined the others in the getaway car. And now a mythos phase. Despite hatching a convoluted escape plan, you fight the intrusive thoughts of your impending demise. Ms. Young suffers 2 horror will negates.
Sorry, did I have? Oh, I might need to roll another one. Sorry.
Yes, I believe you have one more.
Yeah, it doesn't. No. So 2 horror.
Yes, that is
I'm
2 face-up
dead.
horror, though, so
Right.
there is still a chance both must be discarded immediately. Not a great chance, I will admit.
Become righteous.
You are righteous and mesmerized, but more importantly, you are dead.
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
Oh no.
Condolences. No investigating.
It was an honor.
So the last investigator has been killed. Looking back at the courthouse, the investigators' hearts ache as they don't argue with the driver who insists upon leaving, putting his foot down and rapidly driving away from the approaching mob. As you escape, you hope the colleagues you left behind don't suffer too much, and while you can't save them, you make a silent promise to use the evidence you've gathered to burn this entire wretched town to the ground. The investigation is complete.
Woo!
Congratulations, investigators. 4 out of 5 survived. Certainly good by Innsmouth standards. I hope you've all enjoyed yourself tonight, and thanks to our 2 new investigators for joining us.
It was great. Unfortunately, Tommy Muldoon also lost due to the insanity.
Oh, did he? What was his insanity condition? Selfish motives. You do not win the game as normal. Instead, you win only if the investigation is complete and you are not wounded. Which, of course, you are. You do not trust your friends, and you're sure as hell you will not sacrifice yourself for them. Seems they shared your sentiment. And I believe we had some other insane conditions. Yes, what was Mr. Edwards's? Misery loves company.
Mine was we had to have a wounded or insane investigator, which we clearly did.
Yes, you did quite well for other wounded or insane investigators. Well, it was just you 2, really. Everyone else did fairly well. Yeah. Ms. Pan wasn't wounded or insane at all. She had a jolly old time. Yes, well, as I said, thank you for joining us, and thank you for solving the mystery of what happened on that grim Innsmouth night. With that, I will bid
Thank you much for hosting.
Thank you very much. Very good experience. Very, very well done.
Thank you. Yes, do keep your eye on the Discord for news on the next investigation, which should be early December, depending on how distracted Dome Acolyte is by cyberpunk, whatever that is. Well, I will see you all next time, investigators. Goodbye. And thank you all for watching. As I said, keep an eye out for our next investigation. And yes, I will see you next time. Good night, everyone.